All right, and we're live, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy Adam. It's Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We already got people in the house. What's up, everybody? It's the Wednesday night live stream. I'm, oh my goodness, dude. I'm a little beat. So, it's a little chaotic right now. We got company for tonight's show. If you'll come over here, my best friend and his family are off to they're off to Argentina for a few days. His wife works for the airline, and they get to fly for free, and so they take advantage of that, as you should. They fly. They just go on random trips all the time, all over the place, and so they decided a couple days ago, "Oh, we're just going to go to. They're going to go to Argentina to watch an Argentina World Cup game in Argentinian bar, I guess. I don't know. And just, to go explore and have fun. So I am puppy sitting. Odie, come here. Come here. He's just, he might come over and say hi to you all, but right now, he, right now, my friend just dropped him off like 10 minutes ago, and he's just sitting by the door thinking that they're coming right back to get him. And unbeknownst to him, he's going to be hanging out for a few days. But we got some fun things lined up. We're going to go to the dog park at the end of my street. It's like we could almost walk there, but it would be too dangerous for him. They're a big dog park. Fenced in dog park. I can just take him down there, run around. I plan on using him as a chick magnet to the fullest of potential I can. I mean, if I've got a cool little puppy dog, I'm going all the places where the chicks are, seeing what's up. Nothing will get a girl to say what's up than this little puppy dog. Come here, Bodie. They'll be back Monday. You got a few days to get used to this place. You're gonna have to come and walk around and say hi for a minute. He's just chilling by the door. He thinks, oh, he just got here, so he hasn't really had time to get broken in and just kind of chill out. My friend was supposed to be here at 5. They ended up getting here at 6, or like 5 minutes before 6. So, I don't blame him. He's like, what the? Because they just dropped off his stuff, gave me the rundown of when he eats and stuff, and but he's a chill dog. I've met this dog before. He's still a puppy. I don't even think he might be like 4 months old. He's like a German Shepherd, part Husky, something like that, mixed breed. Looks very German Shepherdy, doesn't look very Husky-y. But he doesn't look exactly a German. He's not a mismatched, weird looking mutt. He looks like a purebred dog. So somebody was giving away puppies or whatever. I don't know. So I guess his wife just came home one day with a puppy, but that was their daughter has been wanting a dog for a really, really long time. And so I'm sure she was thrilled the day they came home with a little puppy. And so that's cool. And I'm glad to help out my friend, because these are the people that helped me out when I needed a place to stay and get on my feet down here. So, of course, when he asks me, hey, do you care if I drop off the dog for here and there? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, did I want to today? No. But I'm not going to say no to the people that helped me out, and they're my best friends. And of course, I'm not, it's not even that much of an inconvenience. I'm going to be home for the next 4 days. And honestly, if anything, it's going to be good motivation for me to get up in the morning and take him down to the dog park and possibly just put him on a leash and go for a walk with him, and see how far he can walk. There's a 5-mile hiking trail at the end of my street in the park. But it's kind of nice because the main parking lot where we would park, is like right in the middle of the park, and the trails kind of circumnavigate the park. So no matter how far away, like if the dog he taps out. We're never going to be more than like half a mile to the car. So I could take him down there tomorrow and just hike him and see how far he'll walk, and give him his exercise. Get a little exercise for me too. Just kind of break myself in, because I've been neglecting the gym so long that I kind of wanted to go to the gym tomorrow, but I probably won't, because I don't want to leave the dog in the crate. He has a decent, I mean, it's not really that big, but they do have a crate for him if I need to leave the house and I can't just let him run around. I can put him in a crate, but I don't like doing that to a dog myself. That's why I don't have a dog, because I don't, the one thing that we used to do, I've had a couple of girlfriends that had dogs in the last house that I lived in, and I had a mud room. At least that's what I could call it. And it was a pretty big room, but it could be completely closed off from the rest of the house. So we made that room dog proof, put a bed in there, dog bed, and just made it so that there was nothing for the dog to destroy or get into or whatever. And just, that's where we would keep his food and stuff to begin with, because that door would always be open when I'm home. And hey, come here. Come here. You come over here. You're going to be listening to that. He's just upset that his family dropped him off and said, peace out. We're out. And he don't know what to do with himself right now. So, hey, buddy. Come here. Come here. I don't know. When I can spend some time with him and just try to get him to come over and chill, he's a pretty chill dog. Buddy, come here and say hi to everybody. Odie. Come here. He just doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to move away from that door yet. So I'm just going to let him cry it out. So anyway, for those of you who are new to the channel, which I don't know how you could be, YouTube is not going to let this channel grow. So you're either an OG who's been here from the start, or there really isn't anything else, because YouTube's never going to show my channel to a new viewer. So that's fine. It is what it is. I got another little tidbit of information to go with that, my black flag from YouTube. More proof, if you will. But they say crisis can sometimes lead to survival, and then sometimes your survival situation is what causes you to advance. And they say adversity sometimes is the key to change. And sometimes our misfortunes are the sails that take us to the shores we are meant to be on. And I think that came from the new Dune series that's out, the Dune Prophecy series. I believe that's on HBO. I have a few weeks left before my subscription runs out that I canceled. And so I made sure to watch all of that. So this is the story of a 50-year-old ex-con trying to rebuild a life while everything breaks. I really haven't had any adversity I had adversity last week, since you've seen me, but it was caused by my car problems the weeks leading up to that. And so anyway, I was a senior user experience designer making over 6 figures at a well-known software company, or 2 or 3. And I was fired from a remote job because I refused the COVID vaccine, and I was pissed off. And I went through hell because of that. And then in August of 2022, when the FBI raided Donald Trump's house, not that I'm a Donald Trump fan, but if you can't see that that election was a total sham, then you're blind. I went off on social media that week And I said, among other things, that the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of the FBI. That was a modification of Thomas Jefferson's quote about the tree of liberty. Well, a few days later, the FBI showed up and drove a tank straight into my house, hogtied me, and dragged me off to federal prison, where I spent 2 years for a tweet, for a Twitter post. They tortured me for over a week. They kept me in a dungeon in pretrial for 14 months where I couldn't see the sun or a tree or the outside world in any way, shape, or form. That's what they do to extract a guilty plea out of you. If I went to trial, I would have got 7 to 10 years in prison. You finally cave in and take the deal, you get to go home at some point. So I got 2 years, followed by 3 years of probation, of which I'm still serving. And then on top of that, the day I came home, like give it a couple of weeks, the so-called love of my life threw me out into the street to be homeless. And then the federal government forced me to stay homeless for about 5 months, 6 months, 115 days it was. They wouldn't let me move anywhere where I had a place to live and a place to get on my feet. And I couldn't get a job anywhere. I still really can't get a job at Target, Taco Bell, Ollie's. I've even landed job offers more than once, 3 times, from 6-figure jobs, offer in hand, papers to sign, and only to get kicked to the curb as soon as they run a background check. Even if I'm honest with them up front, they always tell you the same thing: everybody deserves a second chance, until it's time to get that second chance. And then they say, hit the curb, asshole. You don't get a second chance. So I got loud on social media, started this channel, and that actually kind of helped force the government's hand, because somebody in the federal government got involved and pushed through the system to get me down here to Houston, where I could move in with my best friend, because that was pretty much the only option I had to get on my feet. And so, I mean, I had to start completely over. I was able to get a part-time job at a bakery, making pretty much minimum wage, riding a bicycle 25 miles each way to do that job, because I didn't have a car. And I've since built a fledgling freelance digital marketing business and a lot of other side hustles. But every day it's a grind to survive. And these videos are a document of what it takes to rise up when you hit rock bottom, and that's still in process. You're watching it in real time. So maybe I can give you some things and advice that you can use here and there. Even if you were never sent to prison for a mistake that you made or whatever the case may be. But as you can imagine, it does drain my energy. And, the dog is over there taking a nap. His energy is drained already too. And so last week I had some financial pressure, because I was supposed to be $1,000 after paying my rent this month and have over $1,000 left over to set aside or whatever. And that car, the problems with my car sucked all my money to where I couldn't even pay my rent. And well, I could have paid my rent, and then I would have had about $20 to last until I get paid again. So I was able to buy myself some time on the rent, paid 3/4 of it, said I would try to pay the rest by today, but I still haven't been paid. And it's the energy drain of the stress. When you're worried about things and you stress out about it, it sucks your energy away, which then causes you to have more problems and more things to be worried about. And it's just this endless cycle of stress leading to no energy, leading to not getting things done, leading to more stress, and it just goes around and around and around. And so I spent a lot of time last week just completely drained, like trying to figure out how to juggle the money to get through another week. If it wasn't for the car problems, I would have been ahead of the game, comfortably ahead of the game. And now I'm still not caught up. Like, I'm still not positive right now. Almost halfway into the month. And all because of those car repairs twice in I had to get the car fixed twice in a month. And between getting ripped off and everything else, I think it costs 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, I spent like $1,300 in the span of a month on that car, partly getting ripped off at a garage and partly just buying parts and having another garage do the job. And so, and how does that lead to like more problems? Well, 2 weeks ago, I was telling you how I spent 81 hours being productive that week. And 18 of those hours were spent dealing with the car. Because, if I wasn't poor, I could have just told the first garage, go ahead and do the job, even though they're soaking me more money than, like, I got it done for less than half of what they were quoting me. And so but I had to spend 18 hours researching and calling garages and running around buying parts and like doing all kinds of stuff. Walk into this garage, pick up the car, go to that place, drop off the car, walk home, walk back, and research and everything else. 18 hours gone. So that's 18 hours. I can't make money. I can't get things done because I'm running around in circles with this car, but I'm poor. I didn't have the money. That was the only way I could get the car actually done and fixed, was to do, that was the only way to get it done. So I just had to suck it up and get it done. You pay, let's call it the poor tax. When you're poor and you're broke, everything becomes 10 times harder than it would be. Even if, and I don't mean you being rich. I just mean like having a stable job and some decent income and a decent roof over your head and whatnot. Like, just the basics. When you don't even have that, I'm way below the median average pay of somebody in the United States right now. Well below that. And it's all haphazard and random. There's no stability. There's no like, oh, you get paid every other Friday. You get paid on the 1st and the 15th. None of that. It's all just random and haphazard and fly by the seat of your pants and hope for the best. And it's hard. That gets under your skin if you have to live like that. Especially when money's always super tight and surprises always pop up on you and you can never get a foothold without, the rock that you're grabbing onto breaking off and you're hanging by your carabiner trying to get a foothold back on the cliff you're trying to climb. And so it was just a pressure cooker. And so last week, from Monday to Sunday, I spent 53 hours being productive, whatever productive means. But when Saturday got here, I was so exhausted and so burned out and so stressed out. And it was the 4th of July. I took the whole day off. I just crashed. I couldn't even get out of bed. I don't know what time it was when I climbed out of bed on Saturday. And then my best friend, the one whose dog I'm watching, they were doing a brisket and having people come over and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And so I decided to go partake and hang out and enjoy hanging out with some people, getting out of the house and just going to hang out with my friends. And so I did nothing on Saturday. And we went to the fireworks. We weren't going to, but my friend's daughter wanted to go see the fireworks. And so we timed it perfect. We drove down to the Woodlands, huge traffic jams everywhere, but he drives a Toyota 4Runner. So it's not lifted, but it's pretty jacked up. And he's got the TRD Pro. It's pretty beefy. And we just pulled up onto this embankment on the side of the road, just left the thing there and walked to the fireworks because we weren't going to make it if we sat in the traffic jam. So we got there just in time. I mean, we walked up to where the fireworks were just as they were setting up, right when they set the first one off. And then after it all blew up, after the whole thing was done, we walked back to the truck and we picked the perfect parking spot because we were able to just get out of there. We didn't have to sit in any traffic to get out of there and go home. So we kind of made that all happen perfectly, and it was fun. It was laid back, chill, wasn't anything crazy. We, like I said, we got there just in time for the fireworks. Boom, 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 boom. Turned around and left, and we were home. Like, we might have been gone an hour and a half. And so then I hung out for a bit. Just wanted the traffic to die down a little more, and then drove myself home. And car's been okay since I got it fixed. I'm legal. I have my inspection, or that's my sticker, my registration sticker I'm supposed to put in the window. I think it came yesterday in the mail. But I was legal before that. It was all taken care of. So hopefully, if this car can go 3 months without giving me a hassle, that would do a lot to set things straight again. I am making progress. My credit score must be okay because I applied to credit cards. When I get these pre-approved credit cards in the mail, as long as there's no upfront payment like a ghetto credit card where you make a deposit and then that's your credit limit. Like, I don't do that ghetto bullshit. Or if there's, sometimes they have a fee that you have to pay before they give you the card. I don't do those. But I've gotten a number of credit cards. And the car situation caused me to max them out. So my utilization is crap. I had a pre-approval for a car loan. They took it away because of that. So I have to go and pay off all those cards. And that'll take a couple of months. And so you could, if he would, yeah, Angel, if the dog would come over here, you could see him. I can't, it's not easy for me to like pick up the laptop and take the camera over to him, or I would. Hey, come here. Come here. Yeah. You can come here. I bet if I got him a treat. Hold on, that'll work. No dog can resist a treat. You want? Get you what, this? Oh, that might work. That'll get him over here. All right. Come here, fruit. Come here. Come on out. Ah, here we go. All right. This is Odie, everybody. Say hi. Oh, no. There he is. There's Odie. All right, you want your treat? There you go. All right. Say hi to the world, Odie. You're on YouTube. You're on YouTube now. Look at that. Say hi, everybody. All right. I'm gonna put you down now. Go chill. Go explore. Do what you want to do. You can go run around. All right. All right. There he is. There's Odie. Cool dog. Laid back. I don't think we'll have. Just got to keep an eye on him. He's brand new to the house, so I can't. I gotta see what he's gonna want to. He already almost knocked a plant over, but he wasn't trying to get into the plant. He was pawing at the door and almost knocked a plant over. No. They'll be back. You'll be good. All right. He was taking a nap. He's gonna go back to taking a nap. He was just chilling. Anyway, he's a cool dog. So So yeah, last week was just like a pressure cooker. Plus, I was doing this projects that were all fly by the seat of my pants to help my client who had this big event going on this week, and he was just throwing random stuff at me all week long, and I couldn't like. I was just holding on to the bar of the roller coaster, hoping I didn't fall off. And so when Saturday came, I was just completely shot out. Sunday was a weekday. I only did Tuesday and Sunday last week. I did about 5 hours each day. And so, what's he getting into? He's all right. I just got to keep an eye, make sure. I tried to puppy proof the house as much as I could prior to his arrival, which was actually kind of nice. I'll talk about that in a second. But Sunday I only put in like 5-6 hours, maybe 7. 5 or 6, I think it was. I don't remember. But I was up until 11 p.m. because I could only work for like an hour or two at a time, and I'd have to take really long breaks. And then Mondays at the bakery, and that's like a 12-hour day when you count getting up, getting ready to go there, transport to and from that job, the 8 hours of busting your ass physical labor, and then go. And then I always tend to stop at the grocery store on the way home. I like to just gang things up, get things. It makes sense to do it when I'm already out there. And there's a good grocery store right on my way home that I don't have to go out of my way to do. And but I come home from that with nothing in the tank on Monday. And no, 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 don't get into that. All right, that's the only thing I'm worried about is him tearing up the house plants, or knocking them down. So I may have to. I don't know. I may have to do some puppy prevention here in a little bit. We'll see what he does as the night goes on. But yeah, I come back on Monday with nothing left in the tank, and then yesterday was Tuesday, and once again, I had no energy at all. And I had an hour-long meeting with a client in the morning, which I do that on purpose on Tuesdays to help make myself get out of bed. And when I don't, otherwise I'm burned out and exhausted from the bakery job. But I woke up feeling terrible, and all day long I had no energy, and I still didn't put an invoice out. So I'm supposed to send invoices out Sunday night. But Sunday I was working until like 11 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock, I didn't have another hour of energy to put an invoice together. So that turned into, well, I'll do it tomorrow morning, which turned into didn't have enough time in the morning. I had to get out and go to the bakery. I'll do it when I come home. And then that turned into, I'll do it tomorrow morning, and which turned into, I'll do it later on today. And I finally got around to it last night at like 9 o'clock at night. So that is why I haven't been paid yet this week. If I had put the invoice out on Sunday night, I probably would have been paid by now. But I can't call the client and be like crying about, why are you taking so long, when I just sent it to him last night. So he's good. He'll pay me. I know he pays pretty quick. He knows that, like, he basically holds my livelihood in his hands, so he treats it as such. He doesn't like drag his feet on that. So that's my fault. It's my fault, is what I'm saying. And so I can't blame anybody else but me for taking long to get paid. So it's just it's the poor tax. I'm so exhausted and so burned out that I don't have the energy to do what I have to do so that I get paid. You gotta chill. There you go. All right. So, um, and it's just that stress of the previous week. I spent, all the stress around that car. And then last week, just pretty much living under stress the entire week. Rent being due on Friday at the latest. Having to reach out to the landlord on Friday because I couldn't figure anything out. If I had paid the whole rent bill, I would have had $20 to get to today or tomorrow. Um, that allowed me to have enough money in the bank to put some groceries in and just pay there's bills that had to be paid and there's other things that had to be done, and I'm able to do that because of I was able to do that because of having that money in the bank. Whereas if I had paid the whole rent bill, I don't know how I would have survived on $20 to go another whole week. So I just couldn't do it. And so that means when I get paid, it's already gone pretty much. But so before the dog, before we had to say hi to the dog, I was talking about credit cards. And so my credit was crap when I came out of prison, as you can imagine. I don't know, my credit score was probably a 2, maybe a 5, I don't know. And it was bad. I couldn't get approved for nothing. Couldn't get approved for a car loan or anything. Well, last December when my car broke down for the first time, I applied for this credit card. It's a credit card you can basically only use at auto garages and things like that. And they approved me for like a $500 limit, and that actually helped me get my car taken care of in December. And I was able to pay for the rest of it with my own funds. It's a pretty decent card, no interest for if you pay it off within 6 months. There's no interest. It's not a bad little thing to have. Well, as soon as I did that, I would say within a week, 1 or 2 weeks, the sharks are in the water swimming around. It's like I dumped a bucket of chum in the ocean and the sharks are just swimming. And I'm getting like 5 to 10 credit card offers in the mail every week. And like I said, some are better than others. So I applied. So I have a handful of them now with different limits. But because of the car situation and everything, I burned through them. 2 major car repairs in a month tapped me out. Hey. Calm down, dude. You're living here now for like 3 days. You're going to get used to it. Yeah. Oh boy. So anyway, like I got pre-approved for a car loan, but I don't want to do it. I just don't want a car payment if I don't have to. But I like to at least keep that in my pocket in case this Volkswagen finally just reaches the point where I have no other choice. And so, like, as it stands right now, I could probably sell the car for close to what I paid for it, but I would still be eating money that I put in repairs. And it still averages out to too much per month. It's still a bad. If this car could go 3 to 6 months without a problem, the numbers would look a lot better. So we're just going to have to see what happens. Hey, dude, come on. Come on. I'm busy over here. I'm an influencer. This is very important. So anyhow, so I backed off on all that stuff because I maxed out the cards I have. Well, I got another application and it looked like a decent one, and I got approved for it. So that should be in the mail this week. That'll be in my mailbox any day this week. So that'll help me ride out, a couple of days of living like crap. At least I can get groceries and stuff. May as well just, if the country's going to burn to the ground, it may as well burn to the ground while I'm in debt and nobody can pay their debts. So, whatever. Yo, buddy. Hey, get down. No. I don't want to have to take those. Oh my God. Plants are going to be gone. You got to chill. So I shouldn't have woke him up. I'm glad you all got to see him, but he would have slept for the rest of the show. But anyway, ball of stress, finances, living on getting another credit card so I can ride it out. Hopefully I get paid. I have a plan. I need hard drives bad. I have done every single thing I can do with the hard drives that I currently have to store all my files on, and I'm finally tapped out. And the prices of these hard drives keeps going up so fast that you can't keep up with it. Hard drives that were $150 last November are now $700. Just from November to now. $160. I could have got 14 terabyte drives, $160 on Black Friday each. Now they're like $700 each. And every time I check, they're $100 more than the last time I checked. All because of the government surveillance centers that they're building so that they can track every single thing that you do. And I got to get a drink. Hold on. Cold water here. This one's not cold. What's up? I'll get you in a bit. All right. We're live right now. You're going to have to chill. So, but I mean, you don't need to be an ex-con who was homeless, going through some really agonizing shit. Buddy. No. Oh. You don't have to be an ex-con who was homeless going through some agonizing shit to feel the effects of stress robbing you of your energy. I think he knows how doorknobs work. You know how I'm going to hold on a second. We're not going out yet. Wait till I'm done here. All right? We'll go outside in a little bit. Okay? Can you chill? Can I get you? Can I get you something here? Here. Take these. What's this? A raincoat. There you go. How about these? How about that? There you go. Take that. All right. Oh. It's not a big problem. It'll be fun having this dog around for a few days. The timing of it was just stress though, because he came like 5 minutes before the live stream was to start. I had everything like queued up and ready to go, but he was supposed to be here an hour before that, so that I could have been like hang out with him and kind of. It is what it is, and I hate that phrase. I hate the phrase "it is what it is," but right now it is. um, but today I feel I feel a lot better today, energy wise. Sometimes I just need a day to recharge. Um, my body will tell me. My body just flat out tells me. And I didn't have to be homeless and go through all this crap, or there's just days like this. I mean, this was the case before I ever got in trouble with the FBI and all that. Um, there was a time where where I used to work for a living and had big boy jobs and stuff. And there were just days that I'm just done. And, just whatever the case may be, whatever I did, to leading up to it, at some point your body will just say, all right, we're done. We're taking a day off. And yesterday was almost one of those days, but not 100%. Today, however, he'll calm down. He's just upset. I think this might be the first time that they ditched him. Well, other than like leaving their house and putting him in the crate for a while when they go do stuff. And he works from home and whatnot. So this might be the first time he's ever like been taken to someone's house and then everybody vanishes on him. So they're like, he'll probably whine for a while, but like I said, they left 5 minutes before the stream started, so it's been 41 minutes since we're going. It is what it is. He'll calm down. In fact, if I ignore him, there's the husky in him. I heard a little bit of husky come out of his mouth. Hey, that's not gonna. I locked that, so you can't get out now. Ugh. So, anyway, today. So I had Angel wants to know if I'm riding my bike all the time again. No. In fact, I haven't been on a bike ride in a while. I was going to the gym 3 days a week, and I was riding my bike to the bakery just for the exercise, and I got burned out from it. And I ended up having to stay home and just buckle down and get work done for weeks on end. And I haven't really broken out of that cycle yet. And so it's kind of like I was going to go to the gym tomorrow, but that might have been a little bit too harsh. It may have been a little bit too harsh to do that. Oh boy. It may have been he was supposed to actually bring the dog tomorrow. And then so anyway, I'm out of it. Like it's just I've been pulled in too many directions, too much random stuff. And it's hard to just keep a straight head on sometimes. And so where was I? So like I finally because I've been neglecting the gym, I've been sitting in front of this computer for like 40 plus hours a week on top of everything else I have to do, plus the bakery and everything else. And my house starts to go downhill. My cleanliness my house just starts to get trashed. Usually the kitchen goes to shit when I make 4 gallons of cold brew coffee and I have to wash out all the filters. My kitchen blows up from that. It makes a big mess. Yeah, I get 4 gallons of coffee out of it, but it's hard to clean it up, the mess that it makes. And so that happens, and then it's just the work, having to sit in front of a computer day after day after day, even if I'm not getting paid for it, but it might be just random things I have to do. Like Sunday, part of my Sunday routine was I had to fill out all my probation paperwork for the month. And that takes more than an hour to do that. And there's just lots of little things that add up. And so my house was a mess, and that starts to get on my, like, that starts to irritate me and rub on me like sandpaper, you know? Seeing my house and seeing the clutter and the chores that have been neglected and everything else, and it all starts to eat away at me. And yeah, he's back to laying down, so I'm gonna let him relax and we can enjoy our time here. He's probably just gonna sleep. So in fact, hold on a second. I'm gonna set up his little dog bed. Here, why don't you? I'm gonna get you a place to chill here. We set you up. You wanna lay down on here? What's this? Oh, you got your bone. Here you go. There you go. Want this? What do you got? Here, let's get you this. You'd be a lot more comfortable. There you go. Your bone. There you go. Now you can lay down. Now you got a place to chill. Okay? Go in there if you want. All right. That'll help. That'll put him to sleep. There he goes. He's already on it. I should have done that 20 minutes ago. All right. Yeah, he's already just like, he's on it. So the household stuff. I finally got to the point where my friend was coming tomorrow, and one had nothing to do with the other. I just finally reached a point where I'm like, the next day I have energy. No client work is getting done. I'm going to get out of bed and I'm going to spend a whole day cleaning my house. Well, that happened to be today. But then my friend, it was like 1 PM, and he goes, "Hey, I'm bringing the dog over at like 5." And I'm like, "Today?" Because they weren't sure when they were leaving. Because they get to fly for free, but it's kind of like they can only fly for free when there's empty seats on the plane. So it's kind of last minute for them to book their flights. So they had to have like a window of, if like they wanted to leave tonight, but they weren't sure if they could, but Thursday would probably be like, they'd find a way out of here on Thursday. They're going to Buenos Aires. And so that's why I was kind of expecting him tomorrow. And then all of a sudden he popped up at like noon today, and he's like 1 o'clock, something like that. He's like, "Hey, I'll be over there at 5 with the dog." I'm like, fuck. But I was already cleaning the house. So the positive thing is, every time I spend all day cleaning the house, which is like, honestly, it ends up being like once a month. At the end of that day, the house looks better than it ever did. So the last time I spent all day cleaning the house, it looked good, but I had like 2 piles of clutter and I couldn't do anything about them. I finally burned out and gave up. But the house was very clean and like friendly. Like it felt good. Today I had to basically, once he said he was coming over at 5, my aim was to clean it so that when they come over, the place is basically puppy proof and it looks good because I'm having company coming over. So I had a pile of papers on my desk. That all went in a shoebox. The shoebox went on a shelf. So it's all tidy, out of sight, out of my mind. Who knows when I'm actually going to go and sort out the papers in that shoebox. But I did a few things like that today. Just put things. But honestly, like sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you just got to take a pile of clutter, throw it in a freaking box, and tuck the box away somewhere. Because you don't have time to sit and sort out and perfectly organize everything in that pile. But just getting that thing out of your face so that you don't see it anymore, it doesn't mean you're never going to fix that. It just means you don't have to look at it every day. And that, honestly, I'm looking around the place right now and it feels really nice. Very clean, very, and this will stick for weeks. It'll take about 3 weeks before things start going downhill. I've got to brew coffee tonight. I got to brew at least one bottle of cold brew so that I can have enough coffee for tomorrow. From there, tomorrow at some point, I'll probably brew 4 gallons, get those going. And that'll blow up the kitchen pretty good. And it just different things. Laundry. I didn't do laundry today, but it's all tidy. It's all in the bathroom. It's all ready to be washed. I even mopped floors today and haven't mopped my floors in a bit. So my floors look really nice. And the color of these floors is kind of crummy because it's really light colored. It's like fake. It's like Pergo flooring. It's like vinyl flooring, but it looks like wood. It looks like a hardwood floor, but it's like a bleach blonde kind of fake wood. And it's the worst color ever for a floor. Because you can mop and sweep this floor, and 15 minutes later, it looks like you need to vacuum it again. I've had dark hardwood floors, carpets of all colors. I've never had a floor that looks like you need to do it again 15 minutes after you're done. It's the number one reason why I think about getting one of those Roomba things. But I don't know. This is something, it's on my list of maybe, but I don't know if I ever will. Right now, I was talking about hard drives are my most important thing I got to get. And I've got something worked out with Amazon's installment plans where I can get a couple of 8 terabyte drives at a reasonable price, put the down payment on a new credit card, and still have plenty of money left on the new credit card. The new credit card is basically if my car has an emergency. I need something to be able to throw money at my car. And so that's what that's for. But hard drive and paying bills, if I'm going to be late on a bill or something, I can do, that's a worthwhile thing to put on a credit card. But otherwise, I need to keep that open in case my car decides to take a dump again. Until I can at least dig out some of the debt hole that it's caused me. And so I had no energy. Sometimes when I start talking to all of you and we all start hanging out here at the live stream, I get a little bit of a second wind. But I did have a lot of energy today. I spent like 6-7 hours cleaning the house. And it looks good. I look at the workbench behind me, and there's a couple of bags of potting soil sitting there that I'm not sure where I can put them. I think I'm just going to put them in a bin outside. I have a bin under the house that I can probably stash some of these garden and plant stuff in there. But I'd rather find a spot indoors if I can. And I think if I take another crack at reorganizing my workbench behind that you can see back there, I can probably find room that isn't there right now. I can definitely, when you just shove everything under the bed, and it's like a little kid shoving everything under the bed and saying, "Look, mom, I cleaned my room." When you can actually organize everything under the bed, all of a sudden you find out you got more room. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I did the out of sight, out of mind, shove everything under the bed, put it on, put it in boxes, tuck it away, keep it out of sight, mop the floors, make the place look good. And that puts me, I'm already like, I'm in a good mood. I look around the place and it makes me feel good. It puts me in a mood. It changes my whole, it lowers my stress. Um, it makes a huge difference in how I feel. Even though I know I took shortcuts and I didn't do it right, I made it so I can walk around my place. If somebody were to randomly show up out of the blue and just pop in, which almost never happens, but it could. If the landlord had to come over for a minute, it wouldn't, he might be a little pissed if he sees a dog that he didn't know about, but it's not I'll be like, look, he's only here for a few days, but I'm not paying a pet deposit to have a dog for a couple of days. And if I had to pay it, I'd be like, yo, to my friend, I need to pay a pet deposit next time. But they're not like that. He's not like that. He's actually a pretty good dude. I've never had a problem with the landlord since the day I moved in here, and I'm very thankful for that. And that's why I'm not in a huge hurry. I've been looking for a better place that I could possibly move into, but I'm also not really in a hurry. If I could stay here for the rest of my probation term, okay, and then go from there. I would have a lot more freedom. In fact, there's a lake outside here called Lake Livingston. And half of it's in one county and the other half of the lake is in another county, and I forget the name of the county. It's a little bit far out from where I live, but that's where I want to live out there. I don't want to live in the city. I want to live in the country. I want to live out in the country but still have good internet. And I see places for rent or for sale, owner finance deals where you don't have to go through a bank. Affordable shit that's actually good with land and decent sized homes. And every time I see these, they're on the other side of the lake. And the problem is, I'm not allowed to go to the other side of the lake. On the Houston side of the lake, I'd be fine. But probation, I'm not allowed to go to the other side of the lake because it's in a county that's out of bounds. So I'd have to change district. That would be a major hassle in my life to switch to the other side of the lake. And I'm not even like, that's not even in the cards. I've got like, where we're at, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Less than 9 months left on probation. Let's say 8.5. 8.5 months. I've got to fill out the probation form. August, September, October, November, December, January, March, April. 9 more. I got to do 9 more of those monthly reports. Probably I have to do 1 more, even though probation ends on April 2nd. Dude, relax. There you go. April 2nd is my probation termination date. So I'll probably have to fill out one of those probation reports by April 5th. Because it'll be for a report for what you did in the month of March. And then I'm done. And hopefully there's nothing that goes down between now and then that's, it's been fairly stress-free. I keep my nose out of trouble. They generally leave me alone. They bother me. I mean, they're just going to bother you out of the blue at some random day, and you just have to be ready for it. But when you go 3, 6 months without hearing from them, and all of a sudden, like this one time, I hadn't seen the dude since June, and it's a week before Christmas, and I wake up in the morning. It's like it's like 6 in the morning. There's a text message saying I'll be there in an hour. Fuck. And he came over. Like, it was like half an hour after I woke up. I had to jump out of bed, run around, make sure the place was somewhat clean and whatnot. And he came over just to talk to me for a minute. He didn't take 2 steps in the house. He barely went past the front door. But they'll do that. They'll just, I hadn't heard from the guy for 6 months. All of a sudden, probably had to get some year-end paperwork done, end of the year paperwork, and he was like, oh shit, I gotta go see this guy. So he came out here to see me. And I mean, the dude was chill. It was no big deal. And if I wasn't home, he wouldn't be mad about it. He'd be like, where are you? When can I meet you? Where, are you at your job? Or, unless I said, oh, I'm in Mexico or I'm in New York or, someplace I'm not supposed to be. But I can go all the way to the Mexican border and back. The Southern District of Texas is pretty big. It's like 3 counties away from the ocean, all the way down about 2 counties north of Houston, all the way down to the Mexican border. So I can go to Corpus Christi, Laredo, any place in that on the Gulf Coast and 3 counties in from the coast. I can go all over the place in there. I can be anywhere in that region and not get in trouble. Even if he's like, hey, can I come over and see you tomorrow? And I could be like, hey, I'm in Corpus Christi. Sorry, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't get in trouble for that. There might be something that, there could be something that comes of that. They might tell me to report down to the Corpus Christi office and take a pee test or something, something stupid, but I could go camping down at Galveston. I want to. I just don't trust my car. That's really what it boils down to right now. That, and I don't feel like I can just take 3 days off and disappear without major consequences that will just make life suck. But one of these days I just might. So I cleaned the house today. That feels good. Productive. I count that as productive time. It's something I had to do. House is cleaner than the last time I did it. I feel like I'm at the point right now where I need to reorganize my desk and my workspace here. But I keep putting off buying new hard drives. And so I'm waiting until I get hard drives, because when I get hard drives, I'm going to have to pull everything away from the wall and run new wires and reconnect everything and organize all the cables again anyway. So I may as well do it all at once. But I've got a paper shredder I've never used. I've got a power backup, a UPC power backup for if, the power goes out. I haven't really hooked that up either. And then I've got this desk sitting next to me, and the drawers are just disorganized. Another one of those, throw everything in the drawers and shove it closed and everything will be fine and everything looks clean. So I actually need to pull everything out of this desk and reorganize it all and really, really organize it. Things like that all over the house. And it's kind of like kitchen cabinets, When I moved into this place, I didn't really have any cooking equipment. And I've been picking up things here and there to cook with. And as I do, I don't really have cabinet space here. So I've been having to like juggle things around and shuffle things around just to like find a home for that stuff. And it's so it's just a constant like I think if you I think the point I'm making with all the rambling is if you're trying to be perfect, if you're trying to make everything perfect, good luck, cuz perfect is the enemy of done. And I am a perfectionist and I have to like constantly tell myself it's good enough, just let it go, it's good enough. And so like with cleaning the house today, I had to keep telling myself, do you want to spend the whole day working on one small thing only to turn around and see the rest of the house looks like shit? Or do you want to focus on making the house look presentable and maybe taking a couple of these clutter piles, throwing them in a box and hiding them for another day? And that's the conclusion I came to. Perfect is the enemy of done. Perfect would be I spend 3 days organizing these clutter piles and putting every little, on my workbench back there, every little washer, screw, nut, and bolt has a proper place. Rubber washers have their own O-rings and like all the little tiny bike parts and spokes and everything has a place. But not today. Not today. It all just went in a box and it got put away for another day. That way I don't see it. And I can look around and I can trick myself into like, oh, I have a really clean place. Looks great. Even my friend was like, dude, your place looks nice. And that's all I was trying. That was the goal for today. If my friend and his wife and his kid come in and walk around, oh, it's a nice place. You did some really cool stuff. Like there was no like, oh, looks like you got a mess to clean up. You know what I mean? But I did it for me. I didn't do it for them. I was going to do this anyway. I wasn't even expecting the dog to be here today. And it really got to the point where I couldn't go another day. It was like I had the same thing with my hair on the 4th of July. I was a week overdue on my haircut because I was broke because of the car situation. I couldn't afford to go get my hair cut. And I was 6 weeks in. And 6 weeks, it's like a magic. I keep track on a calendar. I'll just, whenever I get my hair cut, I'll count out 6 weeks and put a block on Google Calendar. And it never fails. Like when 6 weeks hits, I'm like already waking up in the morning going, oh my God, I need a haircut. I'm like, my head is like 20 degrees too hot. I've got all this hair sticking out. It feels like a beaver. It feels like I'm wearing a beaver pelt on my head fighting in the French and Indian War. Like I'm a fur trader. And it's awful. It feels awful. And I couldn't take it anymore. And so I went and got my hair cut on July 4th. I found one open place. I was like, sounds good to me. And she did a nice job. And it wasn't really expensive. It wasn't much more than Supercuts. It was a couple bucks more, but not much. And I would probably go back to that place. But I could not take it for one more day, to the point where I was willing to go out of my way to get it done on the 4th of July if I could find a place open on the 4th of July. And it felt so much better when it was done. I mean, oh my God, it feels so much better just to have, especially when it's hot outside. Makes a huge difference. And it's the same kind of effect that cleaning my house. There will come a day where I just can't take it for one more day. And I don't care what I need to do tomorrow. Everything's on hold until I clean my house. It's just, that was today. It was actually yesterday, but I had no energy. And every time I get up off my couch to go see if I had some energy, I could barely go to the fridge and back. Like I was just done. I was done yesterday. And I would say like lately, another thing that, is part of this everything that I've been through since coming home from prison. I've never in my life experienced, and I know I'm not alone because a lot of you talk about it, and feel free to share in the chat if you agree. But I have never in my life experienced such a drastic feeling of not being able to keep up anymore. We were talking about how, we've done a few streams where we talk about the time warp, and it just feels like time is off. And now they're talking about how they've shut down the CERN particle collider thing, time warp mad scientist thing for a few years. I kind of feel it. I feel like time, something about it feels better right now. Like the days have slowed down a little bit. I feel like I am getting more done in the span of a day. But I still am drained. Like my energy it's not every day. I don't feel like this every day. But there are days where I'm just like, words cannot describe the level of fatigue and just the burned out that I feel on certain days. And it's usually the result of pushing myself really hard for a whole bunch of days in a row, and then my body just says, I'm done. I'm not doing this for another day. I don't care what you want to do. I'm not doing it. And I just have no choice but to sit back and say, okay, there's nothing I can do. Call it lazy, call it what you want. I don't call it lazy, but I really don't feel like I can keep up. Every time I want to do something or make room for something in my life, I have to get rid of something else. Exercise. I was just talking about how I've basically given up the gym. I'm paying for a gym membership I haven't gone in weeks. I never wanted to be that guy. Granted, it's $30 a month right now because I've paid once you pay the initial fees to join and all that, it's affordable. $30 a month. 2 yoga classes in a month would cost more than that at a yoga studio. So it's well worth the money. If I go once a week, it's worth it. But exercise. I set my alarm for 6 this morning, but I just couldn't get out of bed. I was awake, but I dragged my ass, didn't get out of bed until around 8. Didn't really get started on anything until about 9. But then I busted my ass right up until 5 o'clock without a break and got the house clean. And that, it won't go back to, it would take... It takes a unique combination of things to happen for it to go downhill to where I have to say, okay, I got to spend a whole day of my life doing this again. I feel like to do it right and to do the deep organization where I take everything out of the desk and reorganize it and take all the clutter that I threw in a box and organize it and really do the deep dive stuff. If I spent 3 straight days doing nothing but cleaning and chores and organizing, I don't even know if I would get it all done. But I'm at the point right now where if I know a lot of you want to see a video of the things I've done to the place. If I spent a couple of hours just putting dishes, like I've got piles of dishes that need to be put away, that are drying, a few things like that. I'd like to tidy up my workbench a little better and tidy up a couple of things just a little bit better than what they are right now. But I could probably spend 2, maybe 3 hours and get to where I would do a video walkthrough and take you on a tour to where everything's positioned and like I'm doing a photo shoot. And I'm trying to make everything look tidy and perfect. Even if it's not. Even if I'm hiding things. Um, but the positive side is every time I do spend a whole day on this place, like I did today, I don't. The place has never looked as good since the day I moved in as it does right now. Not at any point in time since I've lived here. And I could say that the last time I did this. So the last two times that I took a whole day off to just clean the house, at the end of the day, I could say that. Um, but how do I find time to exercise? How do I got time to go to the gym? When I was going to the gym 3 days a week, it was eating into my time to do my freelance work and other things, and causing me all kinds of problems with time management, energy management. And so, another thing, cooking. I like to cook. I don't have a lot of space to do prep. It's a tight space for. It's not a chef's kitchen at all here. Um, I don't feel like I have enough space. I feel like I need one more counter. I would need like, I don't know. I would need just like one more like block of space would be perfect. But I don't have time to cook and prep. I want to, but I don't. And so I've been lately, I gravitate towards things that I can have ready in 20 minutes. And that's 5 minutes to put it together, put it in the air fryer, put it in the oven, whatever. And then 15 minutes washing dishes or tidying up the kitchen while whatever it is cooking. And then sitting down to eat. And so I'm not eating very healthy. I could be doing a lot better there. Definitely don't got time like my buddy does to cook a brisket. It takes him 15 hours to do a brisket. So I ain't got time to be doing no 15-hour cook-off. Worrying about a brisket for 15 hours. And so I don't know, like, what does anybody do? I'm not the only one. I know a lot of you feel the same way. Like, how do you find that balance to be able to do everything that you need to do and still have time to do things that you want to do? And when you're poor and you're broke, part of the poor tax is that you end up wasting a lot of time and energy on things that you wouldn't have to if you had some stability in your finances. A lot of my energy problems just come from that constant stress. I got these fungus gnats for my house plants I've been talking about here and there. And it's kind of like a mirror of how I've been feeling lately. I still can't get rid of these things. I've been doing it for 3 months, going at these things. I do this very cumbersome process on the weekends. It takes about 2 to 3 hours. Not 2 to 3 hours of straight work, but I have to take these things called mosquito bits, mix them with water, 4 tablespoons to a gallon of water. It's called BTI solution. And you got to water all the plants with this. And that's supposed to kill the larvae and the eggs for the fungus gnats. And then I've got sticky traps, these yellow cards, sticky traps in every plant in the house. And some of the plants are getting too much water, like snake plants and stuff, because I keep doing this every week. And I'll water them with the BTI solution. I'll put brand new sticky traps on all the plants. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like 20 of these sticky traps. I got to peel them off and stick them in the plants. There's like 20 of them. And then there's these 2 Zevo light traps. I got to change the sticky traps on those. Those are kind of expensive. I don't even have any replacements right now. Gotta wait until I get paid this week. I can get them at the grocery store, though. I saw that. So that's nice. But you can get them cheaper on Amazon. The tennis rackets that you hear pop in the background sometimes. So what'll happen is the fungus gnats, they go away. I'll water them with that solution. I'll change all the sticky traps. I'll go like a week, and I'll see maybe 3 or 4 bugs on the sticky traps. Then all of a sudden I wake up one day and all of the sticky traps are completely covered in these gnats. Completely covered. So like some all it takes, one of those fucking gnats can lay 300 to 1,000 eggs. And so all it takes is one to live. It just takes one that you didn't kill. 7 to 10 days go by, all of a sudden your house is filled with these fucking things again. And I'm so, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed by it. Because they will be noticeably like, I'll think to myself, oh my God, maybe they're gone this time. And like within the last 3 days, nope, they're back. And they're not flying in my face as I sit in front of the computer. They're not that bad. They're mostly in the bathroom where there's more humidity and heat, and the plants take longer to dry out. So they basically have a foothold in a snake plant in the bathroom, a big one. And I don't want to, it's a beautiful plant. I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm trying, I don't know, so there's another thing I can try. I've tried like 8 different things. The sticky traps and the BTI seem to work the best. And that's what most people recommend. Everything else I've tried, other than the tennis rackets and the light traps, the electric traps, and the sticky traps that are the light-based ones, those work good too. But those only kill the adults. And like it only takes a couple of the adults to lay eggs, and you've got another swarm on the way. And the BTI stuff, you mix it up. You can mix up a gallon of it, but you have to pretty much use it that day. It goes bad if you don't use it within like 24 hours. So there's this thing called nematodes or nematodes, these little microscopic worms. And you can order them online, and they come in, like they have different ways of packaging them. Sometimes they have to be refrigerated. Sometimes they have other ways of transport. I've looked into this because there's no store that you can buy these at. And as far as I know, there's nowhere I could go buy these in the city of Houston. I've called around. So I have to trust that if I order them online, that they're not going to be dead on arrival. And the reviews can be a little bit mixed, mostly good reviews. But I always read the bad reviews whenever I haven't ordered anything before. So I've got 2 brands of these things waiting to go on Amazon. So you put these worms, these microscopic worms in your soil, and they eat the larva of the fungus gnats. And it's kind of like a self-perpetuating system, because as long as there's fungus gnats and larvae and eggs in your soil, these little microscopic worms will eat them, and they will multiply, and they will live in the soil, attacking any of these gnats that lay, that are the larvae and the eggs. And people swear by them. And the beautiful thing about it is, as long as they keep laying more eggs and more larvae, etc., the worms will still survive. And the worms will keep reproducing. And it's like an ecosystem until they have hunted every last fungus gnat larva. And once there's no more food for the worms to eat, they all die. And so your soil is back to normal. But none of these things are harmful to your pets or people. Yeah, I've done hydrogen peroxide. Um, BTI is better. Hydrogen peroxide is supposed to kill them all on contact, but it won't last more than like maybe one day, 20, no more, not like maybe 14 hours. It's quicker to mix the hydrogen peroxide and water together to do a douse of all the plants. The BTI, you have to put it in a gallon of water and kind of let it sit there I let it sit for 3 hours before I use it. And you have to filter out the granules when you put them in your sprayer, because otherwise they'll get into your system and clog your sprayer. So it's a little bit more cumbersome, but it's not ridiculously hard. It's just you can put cinnamon in your soil, diatomaceous earth. I'm telling you, I've done like at least 8 different things, and I'm constantly doing it. Nothing has completely eradicated my problem yet. Like I said, they're definitely not as bad as they were a couple of months ago, especially in the kitchen. I keep the bathroom door closed most of the time for that reason, and because it gets super hot right now and the bathroom takes a lot of heat. Keeping the bathroom door closed keeps the rest of my house nice and cool, or cooler, not cool, but it keeps the house from going crazy hot. But the bathroom will be really, really hot. Some of the plants don't like the heat in there where it's all, where it's, a lot of the plants, some of the plants do not like the level of heat that bathroom gets, even though it has the most sun. I've got a wandering Jew that doesn't know what to do. It's kind of like it needed to be out. It needed to be in a good place with sun because the plant was starting to get shitty. But it's kind of like it's too hot. It's kind of like teetering back and forth. It like has new growth, but it looks ragged at the same time. But I put I don't even know. I can't think of what it is. Wow. My mind is fried a little bit right now. I put another plant in that window in the bathroom and it just went boom. No, the fungus gnats don't come from the drain. Well, how they typically get in your house is all the plants that I've bought, I buy from the grocery store and I buy them cheap. They're all outdoor plants. They're all being sold outdoors. So all it takes is for you to bring home a plant that has fungus gnats in the soil, and now your whole house is infested with them because they will bounce from one plant to the next and lay their eggs, and shit's, it's like game over at that point. And I live down south, so it's like the humidity, the conditions for them are prime here. So they're bad, and they're hard to control. This is the hardest insect. Pennsylvania, the stink bugs. You can't get rid of the stink bugs. You can try all day long. The only thing you can do is get rid of the ones that you see, but within a few hours, they're right back. And they just keep coming and coming and coming and coming, and they do not stop. They came from Asia on a shipping container, and they've taken over the whole state of Pennsylvania, western New York, or eastern western New York, the whole area. The drains, they're not drains. The drains don't. I've got stuff for the drains, and they're not. It's the same thing. A lot of people say use apple cider vinegar and soap. Does nothing for the fungus gnats. Fruit flies, yes. The fungus gnats don't give a shit about that. They don't go for it. The sticky traps are the best. The yellow sticky traps are by far the best thing. They kill. And the light traps, whether it's the electronic tennis racket type, but you got to make sure they have a light because they're drawn to the light. Or the Zevo sticky traps that have the UV light. Those swarms of them, those make a huge difference in my house being livable. But then you've got to treat the soil to keep their eggs from hatching and living to grow into adults. So you got to go after like both sides of the coin. And my biggest problem is getting the soil, what's going on in the soil. Because they keep coming back. And so I think these nematodes, I've watched videos on YouTube. I've looked into, I've done my homework on this, and that's the one thing I haven't tried yet. And as long as I don't get a package of, I'm going to order 2 packs of nematodes that are packaged in a way that they don't have to be refrigerated. And I'm going to use 2 different brands on my house plants. And that way, if one brand is a dud and the other one's good, whatever, I'm just going to go ham with these things. And hopefully that, and the BTI solution won't kill them. So you can still keep watering your plants with the BTI solution and the nematodes living in your soil. I haven't had an issue with fruit flies. Fruit flies are easy to get rid of. I've never had, your Angel was talking about, I thought you were talking about with the fruit flies for me is get rid of the thing that makes them show up. Anytime I would get fruit flies back in my old place in Pennsylvania, the number one cause was my compost bucket under the sink. I would keep a compost garbage can and throw all my compost in it. But it didn't have a good seal. And so during the hot weather months, spring, summer, into fall, all of a sudden, sometimes there'd be fruit flies. My kitchen would be insane fruit flies. Take the compost bin outside, take the little bucket out to the compost bin, dump it out, wash the whole thing out. Fruit flies are gone within a day or 2. The taro traps with the apple cider vinegar and dish soap, I reuse the traps, and that keeps them away. I mean, that'll trap most of them. The fruit flies will go right into those traps. Within a day or 2, I can get rid of the fruit flies. But the fungus gnats, they are stubborn motherfuckers. They are the worst little pest. Honestly, that's the worst pest I've dealt with since I've been in Houston. It makes me almost want to throw away all my plants and just be like, you know what? Tried that, didn't work. But I've got some cool plants, and they're growing. I've got a pothos in my bathroom that got so big, I put a shower curtain rod vertical next to my tub to strap it, and it grew. In about a month, it grew like an extra foot, and it's climbing up. It's climbing up that pole so fast that by the end of the summer, it will be all the way up to my ceiling at the rate it's got, the pace it's going right now. And it keeps shooting out new vines in all directions. And before I know it, the vines are like 1.5 feet long. I've got 2 more vines that I can strap to the pole. They need like another 6 inches, and I'll strap those. I'll keep strapping them to the pole to give them something to climb. So I don't have any food plants going. I have some rosemary seeds and some other, maybe some basil seeds. And I'm going to plant some other stuff, and I was going to do like a container garden using like storage totes that with holes in the bottom so you fill them with soil. And that keeps a lot of the ground creatures out. And like I said, fruit flies, I don't know about the fruit flies. I know I'd get them back home in Pennsylvania. I think I had a fruit fly issue when I was living in that tool shed, and all I ever had to do was take out the trash. Just gather up all the trash, take the trash out. Flies would be gone in 24 hours. Fungus gnats, that's a whole different thing, and they're worse. It's so much worse. They're way worse than fruit flies. They're horrid. When they're bad, oh my god, it drives you crazy because they go straight. When they're flying around your house, they go straight for your eyeballs, your nose, and your mouth. They're drawn to the carbon dioxide that you breathe out and your eyeballs. So I'll be sitting here, and they straight up go. They'll fly right across the room and go right up your fucking nose. And they're so small that you can't do anything about it. I have this little bottle of rubbing alcohol, and I can spray at them and be like, get the fuck away. But that kind of works. And if you can nail one right in the face, they will die. But usually it just drives them away for a while. And I use this, it's like a mist. It's a mister. So it evaporates before it even lands on anything. Because I'm sitting around, and rubbing alcohol is not really bad for electronics. It doesn't short things out. But, you know, I got to be careful, you know, when I'm spraying around me here at my computer desk. And I have this fan that I keep next to me. This battery-powered Ryobi fan. Right now, it's just being used to keep my laptop cool. Because the cameras and stuff seem to work better when the MacBook is cool. So I just blow a fan on it for now during the hot weather months. So you might hear it in the background and whatnot. But if you blow this fan right in front of your face and you have like an airstream going right in front of your face from the fan, then the fungus gnats can't fly up your nose and into your face because they can't fight against the current of the wind that the fan generates. And so that was how I was doing it for weeks, just sitting here with a fan blowing right in front of my face just to keep those things from trying to climb into my eyeballs while I work. But now I've got the population under control to where the adults die really fast when they hatch because they go right for the sticky traps and die. But they have enough, they live long enough to lay eggs. And that's where my problem is, mostly. So I got to get more aggressive with that. But I also have a lot of succulents and plants that you don't want to water too much. And so I could let them completely dry out, and that's supposed to help a little bit. Different things. I mean, there's lots of different things to try. But I've been watching a lot of videos. I started watching YouTube videos to see what I could learn instead of just relying on AI searches. And people are saying that you could be dealing with these things for months until you find the right combination to knock them out for good. Once they're gone, they should be gone. But the problem is, if I go and buy another plant and it comes from, you know, the local outdoor plant garden center at the grocery store or whatever, all those plants are going to be full of gnats because they're outside and they're any bug. Like all these bugs can just come hit them up, drop their eggs off anytime they want. And So probably I need to go through like a quarantine process every time I get a new plant. I should probably isolate it, put it in some sort of quarantine process, leave it outside until like maybe water it with the BTI solution over and over again and leave it outside until it's completely, until I have completely eradicated the possibility of them bringing the more of these damn things into the house. But I'm kind of chill on buying plants right now. I got to get this under control first. My black thumb killed a bunch of plants. I replaced them. I've got pretty much every plant that I have right now are thriving now. I've got it down to where all the plants that I have are showing positive growth. So I've basically, my black thumb is not as black anymore. It's starting to turn a little bit green, which is good. A little bit slower than I was hoping this year, but it does get stressful sometimes just from that. Lots of different weird things like that become a time suck. And when you're poor and you're broke, the things that suck away your time they become more pronounced and even worse than they would if you had money. Like, and I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about just having a normal, I made good money before the FBI came to my house. But I wasn't always making that money. I wasn't always making six figures. I wasn't always, there was many years of scraping by. Maybe not being flat completely broke, but I really didn't start to hit my stride until about a year or two before the FBI showed up. And like, I really didn't start to hit my stride until like 2019. And it was late in the game. And then all of a sudden, 2020 came along, and we all know what happened then. And it was all chaos. And so, anyway, a lot of these bottlenecks that I deal with, like, I've talked about how the process that I go through to do laundry is way more difficult than a normal. I know a lot of you you might go to the laundromat, or you might not have a washer and dryer in your house. That's a huge time suck if you don't. That's always been a thing that I've always made sure, even if I was living in a slummy dump ass apartment, I always made sure I had the ability to do laundry. That was always like a unacceptable thing for me, to live in a place I can't do laundry. If I'm looking for a place to live, that would always be like a flat out have to be able to do laundry here. If it means I have to buy my own washer and dryer, but the hookups are there, that's okay, fine. But I need to be able to do my laundry. And now that I don't have a place where I can do my laundry, it's like I'm feeling how much of a time suck that is every week. I just looked into, they have these things on Amazon. I'll show you. They're not great. Have you noticed how expensive isopropyl alcohol has gotten? I haven't had to buy rubbing alcohol in a long time, but it was like less than $1 a bottle. Let's see what Amazon wants for it. The fuck out of here. $10 for a bottle of rubbing alcohol. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. They used to be like 70 cents. The last time I bought rubbing alcohol, it wasn't even $1 for a bottle. Now I'm looking on Amazon, and I know Amazon's got weird prices on things that are cheap at the grocery store. But Amazon, I'm looking. Here, look. What the hell's going on? Hello? Fire. Why isn't it working? Hold on. Let me quit that. See what it does. What the hell? That is fucking weird because that slide is not on my screen. Something's like stuck. I assure you that I have Amazon on my screen here and you're not seeing it. Dog, chill. Yeah. Just take a nap. Take a nap. There you go. Dude, that's weird. Why is that? How do I fix that? Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it real fast. Let's see if that did it. No. Dude, that's so fucking whack. I quit Keynote completely. There's always going to be a glitch every week. There's always going to be a glitch. All right, let's see here. I don't know how to fix this one. Oh, I can't quit that. Fuck, that'll break the stream. Well, damn, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can fix this. I was going to show you Amazon. All the bottles of rubbing alcohol are $10 for a bottle. That's wild. I don't know how to quit. I don't know how to get this thing to reset the view. Is there like a way to force this thing to reload? Okay. Restart capture. Where the hell is that? Sources. Window. I'm trying to see if I can fix this problem. Sources. Let me just, let's see here. Sources. There we go. Top screen. Here's all the cameras. All right, give me a minute. I think it might be, hold on. What the fuck, Grok? I can show you that if I right click on that source. This is what I hate about AI. It tells you to do things that don't exist. It says right click on the source and say restart capture. That's not a fucking option. There's like, it just tells you to click on things that don't exist. Stop. Stop. Deactivate. It doesn't, like, none of these. I get fucking sick and tired of AI just gaslighting you, telling you, oh, do this, do that. Restart. There it is. Boom. I think that did it. All right. We should be good. There we go. All right. Now we're in business. At least I know what to do now if this happens again. Sources. All right, now we can talk. All right, so yeah, you can see rubbing alcohol, $10 for a bottle. I'm gonna have to go to HEB and see what they got going on because that's crazy. That's fucking wild. You can buy it in bulk. A 6-pack for $26. That's still crazy. That's still wild. Oh my god, dude. Everything is fucking wildly expensive. Give me a second and I'll show you what I have to do my laundry. Which one do I want? I'll do this one. I've had 2. So I'm going to open them both up. Because they're basically the same. And then there's another thing that I've got. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you something I've got bookmarked that's expensive, but it's another option. All right, so here's what I bought. Screen share. So I bought this washing machine. You basically take this thing, you put it in your bathtub. Okay. On the left side is where you do the wash. On the right side is like a spin cycle drum. You can fit twice as much stuff in the left side to do your wash as fits in the spin cycle. The wash cycle takes 15 minutes. So the way I do it is I put laundry soap in, I fill it up with a hose. My shower head has a detachable hose. I fill it up with that hose. I do it for 15 minutes, then I drain it out. Then I fill it back up with water and run it again for 15 minutes to wash out and to try and rinse out all the soap. Supposedly they work better with powdered soap. I have not had to buy laundry soap since the day I moved into this house. But I am running low. So, but I've been using liquid detergent since that day. But a thing of detergent for me is like a year or more supply. So, but anyway, it's split in half. Like I said, the left-hand side, I would never use it like this. You need to put this thing in a bathtub, straight up. The reason why is because there's no protection from the thing overflowing. If you forget to take the hose out, like you walk away while you're filling it up, there's nothing in there that's going to make it stop, and the water's just going to overflow. And if it overflows into the bathtub, no big deal. But they're kind of cheap, but they work. Once you're done washing them, you take your clothes out the left side, you put them in the bin on the right, and it does a 5-minute spin cycle, and the spin cycle is pretty intense. It gets them pretty damn dry. They're very cheap. So I bought this one. I don't know if it costs that much. I feel like it costs more, to be honest. But they do they change, I'm sure, their price. Um, but it broke. The spin cycle side of this thing broke. And it was like a week after the return period. So the company actually gave me a full refund, and I went and spent the refund on this. Same concept, but it's just a little bit smaller, and it actually fits better in my bathroom. It fits exactly in between the hot water heater and the sink, and it tucks away really nice when it's not in use. Um, this one had a pump for the drain hose, so it could pump water vertically like you see in the picture there. This one doesn't have a pump. But honestly, these things are so cheap and so shitty that, like, that's fine. I use it in a bathtub, so I just lay the hose on the floor of the bathtub, and when it drains, it drains. Um, they're very simple. It's very easy to use. It's better than going to the laundromat. But after the clothes are dried, what I do is in my living room, I have these wire shelving units, and I run paracord around and around. I just wrap paracord around the room. And I have different anchor points to anchor it to. And I just have a big long thing of paracord wrapped around a post. And whenever I go to dry my clothes, I just unstring it and wrap it around all the wire shelving units and make a clothesline. And then I use a pedestal fan to blow dry the clothes. And as long as if I do one or two loads of laundry, the clothes will be dry within a couple of hours. If I wash as much clothing as I'm going to wash tomorrow, at least as much as I think I'm going to do tomorrow, it'll take all day. Like it'll be like 8 o'clock at night when all my clothes are dry. If I start washing them at like 9 in the morning, it takes a lot more time than a traditional washing machine and dryer, but it's still better than going to the laundromat. It does a good job washing the clothes and spin drying them, but it's more effort because you got to get up off your chair every 15 minutes and go fiddle with something. And so while I'm doing the washing side of things, it takes a lot of my time. I have to get up off my desk every 15, 20 minutes to go do something. Once everything is hanging up to dry, I can kind of just walk away and let it dry. And if I have to get up and go to the bathroom or whatever, I'll stop by the clotheslines. I'll flip things around, and, anything that's dry, I'll put in a bin to fold and put away later. But it does okay. They've got these things, though. They've got these all-in-one washing machine combinations that wash and dry your clothes. And these are designed with a regular 110 power outlet. So you don't need a 220 outlet, and they're ventless, so you don't need a vent. But you still, in order to use this, you would still need a place to hook the drain hose into. So you're still going to have to figure out where you're going to run the drain hose. And you're still going to need a hot and cold water hookup. So here at this place, how would I do it? There's two PEX pipes leading to there's a hot water heater in my bathroom. And it's a big one. It's a full-size water heater. There's a couple of PEX pipes going to the water heater. There's actually a place where I could get a splitter. And so I could easily get hot and cold water going to a unit like this without really any more than like an hour of my time and maybe some swear words, making a little bit of mess, getting some water in different, I mean, I'd have to shut the water sources off and, You know, it might be a little bit of a pain in my ass, but it's not going to be horrid. Plugging it in, I've got a 110 outlet right next to the, right there. I could plug it in right there. The drain, I don't know how I would run the drain hose. That would be the thing. Like there's a few different things I could do. But that's the one thing I don't know how I would do it. I'd probably have to drill a hole in the cabinet where the sink is and try to tie it into the drain for the sink. I don't know if it has a pump. So if it, like, I don't know if this thing will pump the water out or if it's just gravity based. I'm assuming it has a pump. But I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea for a place like this. But from what people say in the reviews, it takes all day to do a load of laundry because it's fine with the wash side of things, but when it dries your clothes, because it's using a 110 outlet and it doesn't have the same, it can't generate as much heat as a 220 volt outlet. So, but I don't have a 220 outlet in that room. So the problem is people say that this thing takes all day to dry your clothes. Like it takes like, it'll just run for like 4 hours or more to dry your clothes. Once you do a load of laundry, it's like, but I mean, at the same time, you could walk into the bathroom, throw in a load of laundry, and walk away from it, and your clothes will be dry in like 8 hours or whatever it takes, but it takes a really long time. So right now, I feel like my system works faster than this, but it's more involved. I have to get up off my ass and go do things. And this thing's like $1,000 too. Don't forget that. But they do have these Amazon monthly payments, but it would still be almost $200 a month for 5 months to pay it off. So $1,000, that's a lot of money to drop for some. I mean, that's not even really. I don't think it's worth it. That's $1,000 plus all the shit I would have to do to hook it up, and whatever other parts and stuff I would have to get going just to be able to hook it up. Hoses. I don't know if it doesn't come with the right hoses. Does it come with the hose for the hot and cold water, or do I got to get those separate? Like, it doesn't really seem like this would be a good solution for my landlord to make this place better. Not for me. Like, this would be a good thing. I might show it to him one day and be like, hey, if I install one of these, would you give me some credit on my rent if I leave it here for the next tenant? You know, like, I might be able to do something. I mean, I can talk a smooth talk. $1,000 though, that's a bit steep. If the thing was, but I think you could probably find something like this for $500-600 if you shop around. I don't know, but that's an option. It's an option. It's something that you can install in a small apartment or a camper or something along those lines that you might not be able to fit a traditional washing machine in. And the downside is it takes all day to do a load of laundry. But the plus side is you toss your clothes into the thing, you put a Tide Pod in there with it or whatever you do, hit a couple of buttons, and you walk away. And 8 hours later, your stuff's done. It's the Medea 24-inch all-in-one front-load washer dryer combo. If you're looking at it on your phone, if you're watching this video on your phone, I don't know what to tell you. I could zoom in a little bit if you want to see, because you're asking. $969 for this thing. So, I mean, the one I have, $150. And that's about what I honestly think I paid more than that. In fact, I'll double check. I can check while I'm messing around here. I can go back to my orders and find it. Kind of curious as to what I paid for these. When I bought them, they were, okay, what was this one? Okay, no, that's about what I paid. The one that I have right now was $173.19 with tax. The one that I had before that was $194.84. So when I got the refund from the one that was $194, because it was a little bigger, but it broke. So I got a full refund. And I immediately went and bought the other one, which was a little smaller. And then I took the extra money and I got a 3-year extended warranty for it, because I was kind of worried that if it breaks, I'm screwed. And I've been using it for about a year. Let me see, when did I actually buy it? When the old one broke, the time to get the refund in my bank account, place the new order, and get the new one delivered was like 2 days. I didn't even skip a beat. Didn't even miss a laundry day. Everything was all squared away and taken care of, lickety split. July 13th is when I ordered the one that I'm using right now, and I've been using it for a year, just about a year, and I haven't had any problems with it. And that one's called the Giant Tex brand. Giant Tex portable mini compact twin tub washing machine. The only thing that I really can't fit in there are blankets, like full-size blankets, comforters. So there's going to be a day where I have to pack up my bedding. I can wash my sheets and my mattress protectors. Those are fine. They fit, they wash, the thing works properly. Everything works fine. But it's not big enough to put a comforter or the blankets from the full-size bed. I can't wash those in this. The old one, the one that I traded for this one, the one that broke, that one was actually big enough to wash blankets. It was significantly bigger. They don't look much different in the pictures as I show them to you. But this one had a significantly bigger wash side to it compared to this one that I use now. Size-wise, the width wasn't that much different. They were only a few inches apart in width. But this one was just an inch or two too big to fit where I wanted to store it when I'm not using it. So I had to store it in a goofy ass. It's 27 inches wide. And it needed to be at the base, but it's a little wider at the top. And it just didn't quite fit. This one is 24 and a half inches wide, or 25 inches wide. And it fits perfect in the space that I wanted to put it in. But for whatever reason, the left-hand side of this thing is significantly smaller than this one. It was very noticeable. The spin cycle side is the same on both of them. So a couple of inches makes a big difference. That's what she said. But when it comes to washing clothes in one of these things, it does make a difference. So that's another thing when you're poor like this. I know somebody who used one of these things so she wouldn't have to go to the laundromat. And so I already knew how they worked, and I've already seen them in action. So when I moved into this place, I was riding a bicycle everywhere, right? So I'm riding a bicycle 25 miles each way to go to a bakery 3-4 days a week. When I have to do laundry, what am I supposed to do? Put 50 pounds of clothes in a backpack? Ride a bicycle to the laundromat? do all my laundry, shove them all back in a backpack, and ride my bike home? No. No. I would get a washboard like Little House on the Prairie and be doing my fucking laundry in a bathtub and then joining a bluegrass band, at the end. Ring, ding, 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 ding. I'll have a banjo player to my left and a guy with the big bucket and the string bass thing to my left, and I'll be on the washboard and with a harmonica and a washboard or whatever, a couple of spoons, right? But I would do that before I would go to a laundromat, having to ride a bicycle back and forth to the laundromat. So this was a better option for me. And it was $150 plus tax and, bullshit and the 3-year extended warranty and whatnot. The 3-year protection plan was $30. So when I got the refund from the one that broke, light bulb, get the 3-year. I don't usually do those protection plans, but for this, I was like, I'm good. So, but that's, Angel, that's why you put it in a bathtub, because your apartment won't flood. But yeah, I would not trust. They have little hookups and they have things for these so that you can just set it in a room somewhere and use it. No, would never recommend that, because there's no safeguards. There's no automatic shut off. There's nothing that will prevent you from overflowing it and getting water all over the place. And then oh God, that would be a nightmare. But it works great in the bathtub. I mean, they're very lightweight. The thing weighs I don't even think it weighs 20 pounds. It weighs 20 pounds according to the description. I mean, it's easy. It's got 2 handles on the side. You pick it up, put it in the tub, plug it in. I've got an extension cord that I keep in my bathroom just for that. Run it from the outlet across the back of the sink, plug it in. Boom, I'm good to go. I can let it run all day. I've got a pretty efficient system to do that. It beats the crap out of going to the laundromat. 100%. However, I want to do laundry tomorrow. If I do 1 load at a time for the rest of the week, wash and dry 1 load a day, all my laundry will be done on Sunday. And I don't need anything today. So I mean, I could do it like that. Then I only have to get up off my desk chair like 3-4 times for about an hour. And then I just hang everything up and let it dry, and it dries really fast because the clotheslines aren't all crowded with extra clothes. But if I do all the laundry at once tomorrow, including I've got sheets, pillowcases, a fitted sheet, and a mattress cover because I swapped all those out today. So I've got bedding. So if I have to hang a week, I don't think I've done laundry for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks worth of clothes and all the bedding hanging up at once on the clothesline. Once I get it all hung up to dry, that's like 8, 9, 10 hours of drying time because it's all going to be bunched up together and it doesn't have space to breathe. And so it takes a lot. It will dry. And once things start to dry and I can spread out the stuff that's still damp, it dries faster and faster. It kind of by the time I go to bed, it would probably be dry, but it might not. I'm kind of on that level right now. But if I just put the thing in the bathtub and just do 1 load a day, that takes about an hour of me having to get up off my desk 3 times in an hour. And then once everything is hung up to dry, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll all be dry. So, by 2 in the afternoon, it's done. And then I could just do that. every day until it's done. So those are the two. There's two ways for me to kind of do the laundry all at once or a little bit at a time. And I think this week's going to be a little bit at a time because I've got other things I got to get done. It definitely sucks compared to having a regular washing machine and dryer in your house. I'm not going to lie, but it's better than some little house on the prairie bullshit, and it's better than going to the laundromat. So I'll just leave it at that. It's kind of like being in prison. If you want to wash your own clothes in prison, a lot of people do. Angel says your landlord would have a coronary if you tried bringing it in. Do you have an apartment? I could see that being the case in certain situations, especially if your landlord's going to see you bringing it in. But if they saw how it actually works, there's really nothing. If you have a shower stall, it would be a little bit more risky, but the drain's right there. Like there's nothing to flood. When you empty it, but I don't take it out of the bathtub till it's dried out. So when I'm done doing laundry, I drain the water out and I do the spin cycle and everything. And then I leave the two lids open. And 5 or 6 hours later, I just put it all away because it's dry. There's no water. There's no water left inside of it when you're done. Other than I had one of those years ago. It was all metal. Yeah, I don't know. These things are, they come from the land of China. So I don't know. It's Chinese junk, but this will work as long as I'm living in this place. But when I move out of this place, it's a hard requirement that I can do laundry at my place when I move. Now, if the place that I move into doesn't have a washer and dryer and only has the hookups for them, what I would do is I would keep using this thing, but I would buy a dryer first. And if you got access to a pickup truck or whatever, you can get these kind of things cheap on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist all day long. All day long. All day long. You can get washing machines and dryers all the time. Gas dryers, electric dryers. I have never paid full price. I don't think I've ever paid more than $100 for a washer or a dryer, because I always that's where I go. You just need someone who can help you move it. You need a vehicle to move it, or a friend who can help you with that. Angel says, "Don't laugh. I hand wash crap because I'm not going to race people to the washer." In prison, imagine having to do your prison laundry in a tiny little prison sink that's next to your toilet. But people do that. And you have to wash. If you're going to do your own prison laundry, you end up having to use a bar of soap. You got to wash your clothes with a bar of soap. And you wash them with the damn prison sink. And then you got to rinse them out by hand, one thing at a time. And then you got to make up some sort of fucking ghetto-ass clothesline for your prison cell and hang all the stuff up. In the federal prison I was at, we had these big fans everywhere because there was no air conditioning it was old-ass prison, no air conditioning. So there were big-ass fans everywhere. And people would just take a hanger or a plastic clothes hanger or whatever and just hang their clothes right in front of the big fans to dry. In Danbury, in the federal prison, if you did your prison laundry, Usually you get a big laundry bag full of holes. It's like a mesh bag, and you put your laundry in it, and then you've got to tie it off. And you've got to tie that motherfucker tight because they're going into these big industrial washing machines, and your clothes are just going to get thrown all over the fucking place if your bag rips apart. And so they have different ways to keep your clothes together. But in the Danbury prison, when you got your clothes back, they smelled like a box of Band-Aids. Straight up. Like that smell. Like if you ever open up like regular Band-Aids, not Curex or the cloth ones, but like standard Band-Aid brand Band-Aids, like the basic bitch Band-Aids. Open up a box of Band-Aids, take a whiff. That's what your laundry smells like when it comes back from the prison laundry. Whatever chemical that they're putting in that laundry must, that smell, the Band-Aid smell must be some sort of disinfectant. Probably it's a disinfectant that they use to keep germs off the Band-Aids when the Band-Aids are in the Band-Aid box. I don't know what it is. Probably we could look it up if we really wanted to, but that's exactly what your laundry comes back smelling like when you get your prison laundry back from the Danbury laundry service. And the shit's never dry. Because they're just washing so much shit all at once and drying it. All your clothes are damp. They're sitting in a big giant cart. You got to dig through this fucking cart to find your stuff, your laundry bag. It's a pain in the ass. So a lot of people what else you got to do? You're in prison. I never got to the point where I was doing my own laundry, but every now and then I would wash certain things myself. But in Danbury, I was like, fuck them, let them. I'm only here for 4 months. Let them do. I don't need to be doing my own laundry at this point. But you know, you got time to kill when you're in. You can do all your fucking. You can spend 2 days doing your fucking laundry if you want. What else are you gonna do? You're in prison. There's nothing else to do. At least Danbury had some things to do. You could go to the gym. You could go to the library. You could go outside and they had a big rec yard, a 1/4-mile track to walk around, and a lot of different things to do outside. You could, for the 4 months I was there, I could give myself enough variety of things to do to keep myself from going batshit crazy. And I got in good shape. I just used the time to do the best I could with it. Prior to that, my life sucked. Like going to that prison was like, it was such an upgrade compared to where I had been prior to that I was very thankful to be there. But I know people who are spending the next 20 years of their life in that place. That's a different fucking story. 4 months in, and I was like, yeah, I've already done all that this place has to offer. I've done it all. Like, I've done everything that you can do here. I was there for 4 months. How are you going to fill the rest of your 20-year bid if you've already burned it out in 4 months? So one of the ways is do your own laundry. That'll kill some time every week. But I don't know. Now that I'm out, it's like time's the opposite. I don't have time anymore. And it's kind of a vicious cycle, you know. I'm constantly running around. I'm just constantly like robbing from Peter to pay Paul, whether it's via finances and actual money or time, borrowing time from here to spend there because I can't do both. And it's tough. It's tough. And I'm not the only one who goes through that. I know that that's the story of a lot of our lives right now. So it's not like I'm sitting here, woe is me, I'm the only one experiencing this. No, I think a lot of us go through this, and really isn't much you can do. I could get up earlier. That dog is passed out. Thank God. Um, so yeah, I'll wake him up in a bit. We'll go outside for a minute. But yeah, we got 10 people in the room. So I'm gonna do the shout outs, or the plug or whatever. If you haven't hit that, smash that thumbs up button, hit that, because it'll help with my YouTube shadow ban and my black flag and my red flag. And now that I'm mentioning that, let me see if I can pull this thing up, because this is more proof that I'm black flagged by YouTube. I got invited to a thing and then I was uninvited. I think. Yeah, definitely uninvited. I just got to find the invite. Okay, is this good enough? Can I just open this up without... I think this is fine. All right, so I got this invite from YouTube. There's this thing going on in Houston. Join YouTube for a creator collective in Houston, Texas, July 9th, which is tomorrow. Enjoy food and cocktails, catch up with old friends, build new connections, blah, blah, blah. It's July 9th, 5 to 8 p.m., Houston, Texas. RSVP. So I went there. And I went to register. And I can do it. Why not? Wait, I'm registered. You gotta be kidding me. Now, how do I... Maybe I will go to this thing. Now I gotta figure this out. All right, so so maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so I got this invite, and when I filled out the registration, this was over a month ago. And when I filled out the registration, yeah, it's yeah. So yeah, a month ago I filled this thing out, and I'm looking at the email. And it says your registration for YouTube, whatever, blah, 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 is pending approval. We will let you know once your registration is approved. Well, they never let me know. And so I figured I got uninvited. I feel like I got uninvited from the thing because of my, my censor-worthy speech and non-liberal views, and my two genders and no pronouns next to my name and all that, all the reasons that YouTube would hate you. And I still do not see any confirmation. But the other day, so my calendar switched to this week. I totally forgot about this thing. And I'm looking at my calendar for the week, and I'm like, oh, that's that YouTube thing. Did I ever get... I looked at my email. I'm like, no, I never got the thing. And now it's telling me that and so I went back to the website like I just showed you. And it told me your registration is still pending approval. And I'm like, all right. I never got the fucking confirmation email. Yeah, they're saying that the details are in this confirmation email. I'm searching for this while we chat. Like, I have not, no. No, I never got this confirmation even. So I don't know if I guess I'm not going. Like, I really don't care that much. I'd have to put the dog in a crate to do that. I mean, it would only be for a few hours. I guess I could do it, but like, I'm not seeing squat. What about spam? No. No, I never got a confirmation for this thing. So, I don't know. I think my black flag got me uninvited from the exclusive YouTube Houston party or whatever. I don't know, dude. I guess I don't. The only reason I would want to go is to maybe, sometimes you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what'll happen when you do stuff like that. Whatever preconceived ideas I have about being around a bunch of blue-haired retards with 20 genders and 6 pronouns and they them, even though it's one person. All that kind of crap. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to see if there's. No, okay, there we go. It says we're processing your registration now on the screen. So, no, they're like, no, we don't want him. We don't want him coming. Yeah, a bunch of girls with nose rings, like, yeah, like, I don't need that. No, I don't think. I think I'm not. I'm not one of the cool kids that got invited. I got disinvited. I don't get to go to the clubhouse, the secret. It's like getting invited to the Illuminati. They're not going to tell you where the Eyes Wide Shut party is. You know what I mean? And I'm going to need the fucking password when I get there. And if I show up in a taxi cab like Tom Cruise, everybody's going to know something's up. They're going to make me take off my mask in the middle of the room and shit, dude. And I'm not going to want to rape the kids or anything. Like, I don't know what the fuck they got going on, but I probably don't want to be there. If somehow I get invited I don't know what the fuck's going on. Processing your registration. So I don't know. I guess I'm not cool enough. I guess I'm not cool enough to be at that. Like, how many people in Houston got invited to this fucking thing? I don't know. But the fact that they haven't allowed my account to get one new subscriber in 26 months of posting videos over and over again, and they've got my subscription count locked at a specific number for 26 months straight without one new subscriber. I could start a brand new fucking channel, put up a video of a goldfish swimming in a fucking bowl, and do nothing else. And I would get more subscribers on that channel than this. Guaranteed. In fact, maybe I'll fucking, if I took a video of this puppy dog, put him up on a video channel, gave him his own YouTube channel with one fucking video, he'd probably go viral. But, you talk about some real shit, they ain't got time for that. They aren't going to let you talk about real stuff on YouTube. They'll let you talk. They've never deleted a video. They've never censored a video that I've posted. I have yet to have a video deleted or removed or censored in any way. They've demonetized a few videos saying I can't make money off of them, but they've never deleted them. But they don't have to. They can just turn off your reach. They can shut you off. They can flip a switch on your channel so that you'd never actually reach anybody and nobody knows that you're there. You know, people can find me directly and they can come here directly and discover it. But my thumbnails for my videos will never appear in anybody's feed that doesn't already subscribe to the channel. And you can look at the live streams. It's always 150 views. Week after week after week after week. It's the same number of views every week. And so it's the same people. The analytics do show some things. And, you know, there's things I can do. Like, there's definitely things I can try that I'm not doing. And, like, I'm not going to blame YouTube 100%. I know that I can do things different and better and change it up a little bit and do, you know, try some different things. And until I do that, you know, I've really got, you know, I to sit here and, but we all know that YouTube is one of the most heavily censored platforms on the internet. I would say the only platform that's more heavily censored than YouTube is Facebook. And even Facebook has pulled back the censorship because dumbass Mark Zuckerberg found out that all the censorship that they put down caused everybody to ditch Facebook. And now they're in a free fall. Now it's just a bunch of AI garbage and scams. And like, if you're on Facebook and you follow your, like, if you join Facebook and you follow your friends and family, I don't know if any of you do. Do you actually see anything that your friends and family post? Or when you log into that platform, do you see nothing but a bunch of fucking AI gibberish, garbage, doom scrolling videos, and scams, online casinos, and bullshit? Like, I don't see any of the people I know. I don't see anything that they post. None of it. Every time I log in, it's just garbage. Garbage that I don't follow, garbage I don't want to fucking look at, and it's scams. It's a bunch of fucking scams. Honestly, the only reason I even get on Facebook is to go to Facebook Marketplace because, and that's a shit parade as well. The user experience of Facebook Marketplace is so incredibly broken. It's so wildly broken. You can't find anything. The map doesn't work. The distance filters don't work for shit. When you're actually trying to use the filters to find what you're looking for, you'll never find what you're looking for. But then you come back an hour later and all of a sudden their recommended things that you see match what you were looking for before, but they don't show up in the search when you're actually looking for them. It's a mess. Craigslist, on the other hand, bang, the search works. But everybody ditched Craigslist for Facebook Marketplace, and so Craigslist is kind of dying now. And it's like they ruined it. They completely ruined, like, the online local bazaar, or whatever you want to call it. The online thrifting has been, at least here in Houston, it's fucked up and broken. Because back in the day in Pittsburgh, oh my God, I used to live off of Craigslist. If I needed anything at all, I would go to Craigslist first. And I had a Craigslist app that Craigslist actually banned and made it not work anymore. But while it worked, you could put searches in and get alerts when things show up under those searches. So if I was looking for things on a list, I could set a search for that. And then I would get an alert on my phone whenever something showed up that matched that search. And oh my God, dude. The deals that I would rock. And I lived outside. I mean, I lived 70 miles outside of Pittsburgh. But on my way home was this neighborhood called Cranberry. And it's one of the wealthy neighborhoods. But it's like upper middle class. It's not lower upper class. There's a big difference, by the way. We could talk about that on. We could make that a subject of a video. What's the difference between upper middle class and lower upper class? There's a line, and it's the way people behave and the things that they do with their money. Cranberry is upper middle class all the way, just douchebags. But one of the things that the upper middle class does is they buy a bunch of shit all the time that they never use. And so I always had this like marketplace between Pittsburgh and my house. So anything I needed would show up in Cranberry from some rich McMansion dweller that bought this thing and never took it out of the box, and now they're selling it for. My blender broke. I had a really nice Vitamix blender, one of those $2,000 blenders that you see at Starbucks, and it was given to me. And it was an Indian giver because it got taken back. It was an Indian gift because it was given to me. And then I broke up from that relationship, and it was given back. I had to give it back. I'm like, I thought it was mine. So it was an Indian gift, but so I needed to get a new blender. I just got a cheap ass blender, and it sucked. I mean, when you go from a $2,000 Vitamix blender that they use at Starbucks to make your frappuccinos and shit to a fucking blender from Walmart, that's a big fucking downgrade. Let me tell you, it's not, the smoothies are not the same, but I had to do what I had to do. And so that blender I broke, it had a glass pitcher, and I dropped it, and I had a ceramic tile floor, and it went psh, and the replacement pitcher cost more than the blender. And I'm like, get the fuck out. So anyway, couldn't do it. So I go on Craigslist. I was dating this rich girl who could have bought me a $2,000 Vitamix blender like it was nothing, but we weren't that deep into the relationship yet. She goes, I saw the Ninja blenders at Kohl's today. I'm like, what are you doing shopping at Kohl's? Like, isn't that where poor people go? But anyway, she was like, I saw a Ninja blender at Kohl's. It was on sale for like $115 or something. I'm like, yeah, you watch me. So I went on Craigslist looking for a blender that day. Cranberry. Someone had a brand new Ninja blender, the exact same blender that she just mentioned, for $15 still in the box. Done. Okay. So I'm on my way home from Pittsburgh, coming back home from the office, stopped, got my $15 Ninja blender, had it all set up. She's the rich girl's over at my house. She's like, oh, you got the blender? I'm like, yeah, but guess how much I paid for it? She's like, $115? I'm like, 15. 15. Not 115. And it wasn't it was actually a pretty decent blender. My friend has one at his place. He likes it too. Those blades are no joke on that blender, but it's not a bad blender. Especially when I paid $15 for it. Way better than the Walmart blender I had before. It would make some banging smoothies and but it's still not the same. There's a reason why a Frappuccino at Starbucks is as smooth and perfect as it is, and it's the fact that it's because it gets mashed around in a $2,000 blender. You can't do that with a standard. You can't do a regular blender. Don't do it. It don't do the same thing. So, but yeah, I would go on Craigslist all the time. I would find the craziest shit on Craigslist all the time. I wanted to start doing winter camping. I found this tent was like 200 pounds, but I found a military tent that was four-season tent, winter tent, that had a hole in the top for a wood-burning stove. And then I went on, I did some homework, and I found a really good wood-burning stove that folded up into a box like this big. It folded in on itself. But I had bought that I had bought that to start winter camping the winter that I went to prison. So I never got to use it. But that thing was fucking badass. And I got it for like $100. I swear to God, I spent $100 on that tent. And that tent should have been like, I think at the Army Navy, I think at the Army surplus stores, those things go for $500-600. Um, I don't know. I found, and then I went to that. And the thing about Craigslist is, it's owned by this liberal douchebag named Craig. Imagine that. Um, and so I went to sell the military tent because it was saved with all the stuff. There was some things that were set aside in a garage for me when I came home from prison, and that tent was in there for some reason. And so I put it up on Craigslist for sale, and they banned it because it was a military tent. But I bought the damn thing on Craigslist. But they wouldn't let me sell it on Craigslist because it was military, and we're liberals, and we don't like we're blue-haired liberals with 20 genders and 6 pronouns and they them, and they them can't have military stuff on Craigslist, I guess. I don't fucking know, but I got flagged and my ad got taken down like 4 fucking times. So I was trying to sell some of the stuff before I was homeless to see if I could make a few bucks. But Craigslist in Jamestown, New York sucks balls. There's not enough people buying stuff. If we were in Pittsburgh, I would have sold all that shit in a week. But a lot of it has to do with where you live. But here in Houston, it don't seem like anybody uses Craigslist at all. Because I never see. I mean, but I did. I'll take it back. I did buy the bicycle, the specialized silver bullet that I ride, the extra bicycle that I bought so that I'd have a spare bicycle here. And it's a beautiful, fucking awesome bicycle. I got it for $300 on Craigslist. And this thing would have been like a $1,200 bicycle when it was new, but it's, I don't know exactly how old it is. I do have, it's a 2003, I believe. I'm going to look it up because I have a note file for my bicycles with all the serial numbers and the different information about them. And I talked to somebody at Specialized back and forth on email because they're cool like that. And he gave me as much information about the bike as he could, but it was a little bit out of date, so he didn't have good records. But it's a 2003 Sequoia Expert, which is, can I open that up? Copy image address. Come on. Copy image address and then paste it. Of course not. Copy image. What the hell can I do? This I hate Notion. Copy image. What can I do? How can I show the picture? Supposed to be able to just copy and paste a freaking URL, but no. Of course nothing works. And I'm just getting a weird ass error. What can I do? I can't download it. Just put it on the fucking desktop for crying. I don't give a shit. Just put it there. There. Now I can go here. Put it in a web browser. There we go. Oh my god, just close the fucking thing. Fuck Notion. Quit. There we go. I hate that app. So glad I ditched Notion. So glad. It's such a piece of trash. But anyway, this is the bike I got. 2003 Sequoia Expert, aluminum frame, exactly my size, carbon fiber fork. It's actually got better brake levers and shifters on the handlebar than what this bike originally came with. So that's a nice upgrade. I got rid of the suspension seat post because the elastomers, the rubber inside, was all dry rotted because it's a 2003. So I put a nice, solid, good seat post on there. That's it. I replaced the seat post and I put a water bottle cage here. And I'm looking at the bike, and that's all I've done. That's all I did to it. I got this bike for $300. It's a mix of Shimano 105, I believe. It's kind of like the lower end Shimano road group. Awesome frame, awesome like solid wheels. The only problem I ever had with this bike since I bought it was one day I was riding along and the quick release came loose on the back wheel, and my back wheel slid out of the track. And I put a different quick release lever because I don't even think the quick release was broke, but I just didn't trust it anymore. So I put a different quick release skewer in because I just had one laying around. No problem ever since. This bike is perfect. It shifts perfect. It's everything about this bike it's like a brand new bicycle. When I bought it, I honestly don't think the guy put 1,000 miles on this bike the whole time he owned it. I really don't. But he did replace the shifters and brake levers. I think he may have been in a crash. And because there's a couple of scuffs on the seat. And when I think about it, the only reason you would replace the brake levers, because that's probably the most expensive thing on the bike, component wise. And he put there's better ones on the bike than what this came with. And I think the only reason you would have done that is if you were in a crash and you broke one of those levers. You'd have to get a new pair, depending on how old they were. You probably wouldn't be able to get away with replacing just one. And so he probably did a quick upgrade. But they are a nicer, because I looked at the original specs on this bike that the guy from Specialized sent me. That's the only part on the bike that was different than what the bike would have come with originally. Maybe the tires, but I think it's the same. I don't think it's the same tires the bike came with, but they might be the same tires that were spec'd on the bike. And like I said, that suspension seat post, it was no good. It kind of sucked. It really didn't bother me to ride it like that for a few weeks, but it was like $35. I got myself a regular seat post and swapped it out. Done. Other than that, a bike's original, beautiful. It's like a brand new bicycle, and it was a 2003, so, do the math. That's a 23-year-old bicycle that I'm riding around on. And I only ride on the bicycle I actually ride is a 1989 Cannondale. So, my bicycle that I ride the most is 37 years old. So I'm riding a 37-year-old bicycle in favor of this. But technically, this is the better bicycle of the two overall. But I just like my old Cannondale better. My old Cannondale is so customized. Every single nut and bolt on the bike is it's its own thing. Every single nut and bolt on that bike. Not a single bolt, bearing, not a single part of that bike is what originally came on the bike. Not one single part except for the fork and the frame. There's not one single part on that bike that is original to whatever that bike came with. At this point in the game, not even one part. When I bought it, it had some of the parts that were original to the bike. I stripped it down and rebuilt the thing with a bunch of random crap that I had laying around and turned it into like it's just a weird ass bike. And I'm constantly making it better. But the Cannondale is a long haul bike. It's meant for going on really long rides. It's a touring bike. And so it's built for putting a bunch of crap on it, carrying it around and going on a 5,000-mile ride. Is completely different than that Specialized. That Specialized is like a ride around the city bike. It's like it gives you it feels like a road racing bike, and it feels like a road racing bike when you ride it. But it's set up a little bit like a city bike. It's got the ability to carry some stuff. It's not meant to be a race. If it was a pure racing bike, it would be a lot different, even for its age. It would have a lot different, certain things would be different about it. So it's kind of like a bike that was set up to be a city bicycle, but feel like you're on a road racing bike and to be able to haul ass like you're on a road racing bike. And I could ride that Specialized in a road race, and it wouldn't. I mean, nobody would really even notice that it wasn't a pure racing bike. But there's just a pure road racing bike wouldn't have a triple crank set up front. So I have a tiny gear for hill climbing. If I had to go on a really hilly ride, that'd be a great bike for that because your small gear is tiny. You're not going to be getting off the bike and walking. So I don't know. I mean, this is a random live stream tonight. I don't really, the dog kind of threw things out. I did have a topic that was, I'll talk about it a little bit now as I wrap this up for a few minutes, and then I'll get into it a little bit more next week. I'll just keep my notes here. But, you know how the Bible says when you pray for something, pray as if you've already received it. And now you've got those videos, those documentaries, like one's called The Secret, where it's like telling you that if you truly believe whatever you want, you can manifest things into reality, blah, blah, blah. And I believe that. Now, I believe in Jesus, I believe in God, but I also believe that you can bring things into reality through your own belief and sheer will. Just like Jesus said, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could pick up a mountain and throw it into the sea. Just that little bit of faith. Now, my faith is not the size of mustard seed because I can't do that. I've never picked up a mountain and tossed it. Believe me, if I could throw a mountain at somebody, there'd be a lot of people buried under rubble right now. Because I'd be like fucking Darth Vader. I'd just be like throwing big rocks at people with the Force whenever I get mad. Like, I'd just be like, okay, so, but I've already proven, like, I've materialized things out of thin air. That's how I got my car. A magic check just showed up in the mail one day when I needed it. I can also manifest crazy bad things. Like, I manifested the FBI coming to my house and dragging me away in a tank. Driving the tank through my front door. It happened just like it happened in my visions. So, and I've talked about this in a lot more detail. I know that, if you're new here, I don't know what video to go watch, but I'll talk about this in more detail next week because this is a good topic. But I watched this video from this one chick that she kind of explained it in a different way. And because what does it mean that when God says, when you pray for something, pray as if you've already received it? And she's kind of, her whole shtick on her video was, you don't actually have to believe that it's possible to manifest it into reality. And there's this whole thing like, act as if you already have the thing that you want. And almost as if you try to make yourself believe it, your mind will know you're full of shit, and your mind will just cut you off and be like, no, that's not real. Or what, like there's, how do I explain this? You favor what you already know. You're already conditioned to favor the things that you already know to be true. The sky is blue, the grass is green, right? If they change the color of the sky to green and the grass to blue, your brain would probably still paint the sky blue and the grass green just to keep you from going crazy. Like your brain would probably just go, oh no, and rewire your color sensors to make the sky blue and the grass green because you wouldn't be able to handle the color change. Like, have you ever seen the black and white Coca-Cola photo where it's a black and white pixelated image and there's a can of Coke in the middle and it's red, but it's actually not red at all. It's black and white. But your brain interprets it as a red can of Coke because your brain is used to seeing a red can of Coke. But there's no red anywhere in the picture. Look this up. You can Google it. I could probably pull it up while we talk. Have you ever listened to Shane Winnis? I don't think so. I'll put it in here though as a thing to look at later. Because I'm always Winnings. Shane Winnings. Okay. I'll check it out. I'm highlighting it. I'll check them out because I'm always looking for cool stuff. So that's something that I could see myself getting into that tonight. So your brain is conditioned to resist anything that challenges the status quo. Just like your brain is conditioned to make the can of Coke red in a black and white photo. Because your brain knows that a can of Coke is red. So it actually makes it red. So you can't force the point is you can't force yourself to believe something. But how can you act as if you already have the thing? So like when you're trying to manifest something, when you desire something, when you want something really bad, you're like putting it on a pedestal, right? And you're only thinking about the good things. And so this trick of conditioning your brain to get used to the thing and pray as if you've already received it, it might be, I'm speculating here, but it might be convincing yourself, what would it actually be like if this thing that I want so bad came into my life? And not the pedestal, not the great things about it, of which there could be many, which is why you want the thing so bad. But what are the downsides to it? What are the boring and like how normal? Like try to envision, not trying to envision how wonderful your life will be and how perfect everything will be once you have this one thing that you're missing. But think about it in terms of like, what would the mundane every day of the week feel like? Like I'm looking at a puppy over here, right? My friend's daughter wanted a puppy really, really bad. Really bad. Did she get over it now that they have the dog? Is it more like, oh, I got all these chores now, I got to take care of this dog, It's like now the regular day to day, oh, the dog keeps me up at night whining and scratching at the door, and the dog chewed up my toys, or you know what I mean? Like there's things that go with having a dog that aren't fun. And so when you desire the thing so bad, you're constantly like, you know what I mean? Like you only think about the things that are so wonderful. Like, okay, let's say you have a girl that you like or a guy that you like. And you're like, so if there's a girl that I'm really into, right? And I'm like, boy, that would be so perfect if I could just have, if I could just get to know her or whatever, this, that, and the other thing. Think about it in terms of like, yeah, that's great. You think all the wonderful things, but what about the things that suck about being in a relationship? what's that going to be like? If you actually get the thing that you want, what's it actually going to be like when you have it? Not the good things will, the good things are probably good, right? And maybe you'll have a really good relationship, and maybe you'll have a marriage or whatever comes of it, and you'll be happy and overall. But there's a lot of shit that goes with being in a relationship that isn't fun. Like, how many fucking Disney movies am I going to have to sit down and watch now that I have this fucking girlfriend, right? Like, maybe she's into that kind of crap. Or like, how many dumbass reality TV shows am I going to have to sit down and watch? Like, fucking watching a bunch of snotty ass Mormon cunts going shopping for an hour and a half. Like, I'll be sitting next to her scrolling my phone, looking at shit on X or whatever, shit posting on X. Oh yeah. Oh wow, some bitch bought a purse. Great. Yeah, like how much of that shit am I gonna have to do? Am I gonna have to have a filter and not say certain things and keep my mouth shut when I would otherwise just be free to talk? Because right now I could say whatever the fuck I want on YouTube of all places. Am I gonna have to watch chick flicks? Right? Am I gonna have to sit around and watch a chick flick? Like maybe I want to watch the new Star Wars movie, but I gotta go watch Sex in the fucking City or some dumb shit. Like, now, it actually reminds me. I had a girlfriend at one point in time in the past, and my best friend was just about to get married to a girl he had been living with for 7 years. They were basically married already. We went on a double date to like some restaurant or whatever, and there was a movie theater across the way. And the two girls wanted to go see the Sex and the City movie. And the new Indiana Jones movie was out, and me and my buddy were like, "Hey, I think the fellas, we're gonna go watch some Indiana. You guys can go see Sex and the City. We'll go see Indiana Jones." The movies were at the same time, so we're like, "We'll just meet out front when we're done. You guys have a girls' night out. We'll have a boys' night out. How's that sound?" They were like, "Yeah, sounds good." They didn't care. They weren't mad about it. And that Indiana Jones movie was so fucking bad. It was terrible. It was the one with the alien crystal skull or whatever. It was fucking bad. It was so bad that when we got out of the movie, we're like, yeah, we probably should have just came with you girls to see Sex in the City. Might have got to see a couple of titties or something, but that Indiana Jones movie was fucking terrible. I could have sat through Sex in the City, especially if they're going to throw a couple titties in there for the guys or whatever, but that would have been better than Indiana Jones, that rotten ass Indiana Jones movie. We made the wrong choice. Remember that at the end of the Indiana Jones movie, you chose wisely. We did not choose wisely. Sex in the City would have been better. We drank out of the wrong goblet that night when we went to see Indiana Jones. But am I like, how many times am I going to get dragged off to some bullshit that I don't want to do because I'm in a relationship now? How many times am I going to laugh at a joke that she gets mad about because she didn't find it funny? How many times am I going to get dragged out to do some family fun activity that I would just rather not? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, not to say that I wouldn't do it, but I'm just going to, like, I got things I'd rather be doing today. That's all I'm saying. She's not going to be wearing makeup and looking hot every day. Once she's comfortable in that relationship with you, she's going to be walking around in fucking sweatpants looking like she actually looks without the makeup and stuff. She'll get so comfortable, she'll just rip a big fucking fart while she walks by. You know what I mean? You're going to be seeing the other side of the fence after you have the thing that you wanted so bad. There's good and bad. And, the girl's going to hate a bunch of shit about me, right? There's going to be things. You can't be in a relationship with someone and not have a bad side to it. It's just, does the good outweigh the bad, right? But that's the reality of the thing that you want. You're trying to manifest something in your life, praying to God, please God, my life would be perfect if I just have this thing, whatever it is. I needed a car. I wanted a car so fucking bad. I was riding a bicycle 25 miles away each way to go to a bakery job. I wanted this car so bad. All the good things that a car would bring into my life. Oh my God. Being able to go grocery shopping, being able to go somewhere, being able to just go out and do something. Go drive to a friend's house, drive here, drive, not having to, like, if I had to go to a laundromat, throw a basket of clothes in the back seat, go to the laundromat, come home, you know, like basic shit that you can do when you have a car. And so I wanted a car so bad. But I also had to focus, and when I would meditate about this, I would also have to meditate and focus on all the problems and what's the reality of having. Yeah, it was great having a car for like a week. For like a week. And then, repair bills. I got to fill it up with gas. I got to pay for the insurance. Money's just flying out the fucking door. A car is a money pit. I got fucking ants. I don't even know where the fuck they came. I put a thing from the bakery in the front seat of my car one day. I went grocery shopping. I came out. My car had fucking ants. Like, where the fuck? There was no food. There was nothing. How did my car get ants? Having to go to the car. You got to go to the car wash. You got to clean it. It's extra chores. There's extra things. There's all kinds. Having a car is stress. Got to renew your registration and get the inspection to pass and make the check engine light go away and drop another $500 on that piece of shit just so you don't get pulled over by a cop and bring new problems into your life. And, you know, it's a lot harder to get pulled over by a cop when you're riding a bicycle. You know, I think that's what God means sometimes when he says pray as if you've already received it. When you're asking God for something, could that be? It doesn't necessarily mean believe that you have the thing, but like act as if and think about it as if you already have it. But like as if you already have it, not focus on all the wonderful things that it will do for you and bring into your life, but like what it would actually be when you have it. What will it actually be when you have it? Instead of concentrating on how awesome it would be, like focus on, like, think about the unremarkable things that go with it. And I think that's how you can envision something like that, as if you already have it. Because if you already have it, if you actually have the thing, you're not going to be focused on all the fantasy, the awesome, wonderful things that make you want the thing in the first place. Because now you're just thinking about the mundane, the day-to-day shit that goes with it, and like the problems that come with it, and the whole, like, it's almost like sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You're damned if you don't have the thing, and then when you get it, you're damned because you have it. And I'm like, this is not what this video this chick was talking about. This is not what she was saying exactly, but this is what triggered in my mind as she was talking. And that just pray for something, pray as if you've already received it. Normalize it. Like, think about what it would actually be when you have the thing, not the fantasy of it, not the wonderful, you know, because when you want something really bad, you want the PlayStation 5 so bad when you were a kid. I wanted the Sega Genesis so bad, so bad. You play your fucking video game that you wanted so bad. After you beat the game a week later, it's boring. You put it away, you don't play it for 6 years. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, it was fun for a couple of weeks. Especially games back then. I spent all fucking summer saving up my money to buy Ninja Gaiden 3. And I beat that motherfucker in like 3 days. And then I was like, well, now what? Just spent $60 on a game. I whooped its ass in like 3 days. Now what do? I guess Play some other game. Play Super Mario Brothers for the 150th time. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. You get Grand Theft Auto 6. You're going to be cracking out on that motherfucker for some months. You're going to get months of fun out of that game. It's not, that's not a week-long endeavor. You're going to be sucked into that motherfucker for months. But eventually it's just going to get boring. When it comes out, it's probably going to be the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life. The level of detail, and like Grand Theft Auto 5 was. It's like the craziest thing you've ever seen in a video game ever. And you're going to see it when the new one comes out. And then like 6 months later, it's like, people are still playing that shit. That there's some new game out. It's like, trying to force yourself to believe that something is, like when you're manifesting something, forcing yourself to believe that you already have it. It's like fantasy land. And that's why your brain will just reject it as bullshit. And you can't force yourself to believe it. Right? It's like maybe you're a simp. Right? You're a simp. You're one of these fucking people that go on OnlyFans or whatever. You go to the strip clubs. You pay for titties and ass. And so you're trying to manifest. You're thinking, oh, how wonderful would it be if I could have a porn star or a stripper for a girlfriend, right? Like, so what are you focusing on when you're trying to manifest your porn star stripper girlfriend? You're thinking about her body, her voice, the way that she screams when she's getting plowed in some porn flick, the way she looks in a thong, whatever, all these things. And that's why these simps keep throwing money at these fucking whores, because they're just focused on the fantasy side of it. Like, they want that, but they're not thinking about all the shit that comes with that if they actually had that. Like, I know dudes. I know people who have dated strippers. I know. I've known strippers. I think I shared the story about how I started a fucking soccer team and we needed girls for the roster, and I was able to fill it with a bunch of strippers from Stiffies down the fucking road. Like, and it wasn't because I was connected with the strip club. It was because I made a phone call that turned into another phone call that got all the that's a long fucking story, but all the strippers. So I heard all the stripper drama with their boyfriends and all the crazy shit. I know what it would be like to have a fucking stripper for a girlfriend. If you're one of these fucking simps throwing money at these whores, wanting to make one of them your girlfriend someday, you're not thinking straight. You're not thinking straight. You're not thinking about everything that comes with. Because there's a bunch of shit that comes with that prize that you don't want. And I'm not talking about diseases and all that kind of crap. Like, number one, we talked about this before. What does she look like when she takes off the stripper clothes and all the makeup and she's just walking around in a pair of fucking sweatpants, trolloping around the house all grungy and dirty? She don't look like she looked at Stiffies the other night dancing around in a fucking thong, does she? No. You got to deal with the fact that if you got a stripper for a girlfriend, you got to deal with the fact that other dudes are groping your fucking girlfriend every day and chasing after her. And if she's a porn star, well, fuck, what goes with that. You know how she makes her money on if you got a girlfriend that's on OnlyFans, you know how she makes her fucking money. Like, is that do you really is that what you really want? Why do you think porn stars tend to date like rock stars and celebrities and shit like that? Because in order to be a guy who can tolerate being with a porn star who fucks 20 guys a week and has 6 fucking dicks in her hand every other day, you've got to be a guy with a tour bus fucking 20 to 50 girls a week in order to like have some sort of fair and balanced relationship with that. Otherwise, you're just some dumb fucking simp throwing money at a whore. And like, okay, stripper girls, they party nonstop. They're partying all the fucking time. So you want to have random crowds of people showing up at your fucking house at 3 a.m. with a bunch of fucking liquor and beer and drugs and coke and fucking whatever else the hell they got coming in the door, boozing it up until 10 in the fucking morning on a Tuesday night. Like, what if you got a job? Like, what if you actually have a job and you get up in the morning and you go do like, responsible people shit, like a job, like at an office or something like that. But your stripper girlfriend's got 50 fucking people partying in the house on a Tuesday night till 8 in the fucking morning before you can get rid of them. And like, what the fuck? You got to be to work at 9. And believe me, I mean, this girl's not going to be all in that. She's not going to be the most stable mentality. I can't can I say it? I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it as if it's, I've lived next door to strippers. Multiple times. Sometimes you might just be like hearing a bunch of fucking noise out your window in the middle of the night. You look out and here's the stripper girl smashing in the side of the boyfriend's car because they got into a fucking argument. She's smashing the windows with a baseball bat, keying up the side of the car with a set of car keys. And because, when they have an argument, that's how things get resolved when you date a stripper. Does it still seem like a good idea to date a fucking stripper and have a stripper for a girlfriend? Oh my God, I got so many stories. I shouldn't have this many stories about this, but I've got at least 10. So I just don't have time to share them. You get the gist. I went to art school. I mean, I've known a wide variety of people in my life. I have never had a stripper girlfriend. But I'll back that up. I did go on a couple of dates. I did go on a couple of dates with a stripper once. It did seem like a good idea at the time. I wasn't like looking for a relationship. And I don't go to strip clubs. I'm like, you have to drag me kicking and screaming to go to a fucking strip club. I've had girlfriends that wanted me to go to a strip club with them, and I'm like, no. Like, and I would argue and throw a fit because I don't want to go to the fucking strip club. It's not my jam. I like naked girls as much as the next guy, but there's a lot of things I would rather do than that. Like, pretty much anything. But anyway, I met a stripper. She knew some friends of mine. Like, I was well connected in Pittsburgh. I knew a lot of people. So she knew friends of mine. Friends of mine knew her. We ended up going out a couple of times. This one night we went out. We're back at her place. We spent a little bit too much time at the bar. We're sitting on her couch. One thing's leading to the next. Things are about to get interesting. Boom, 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 boom on the door. And I'm not kidding. Like 30 fucking people she opens the door and like 30 fucking people come pouring in cases of beer and fucking everything else. Like I just explained. It's like 3 in the fucking morning. A bunch of her stripper girlfriends that just got done with their night shift at Stiffy's showing up, and a bunch of fucking dudes random. Actually, there were like 3 DJs that I knew because I used to be a DJ, and I didn't know that they were all connected. And so everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck you doing there?" I'm like, "What the fuck you doing here? What's up, man?" And so like we were hanging out, having a good time, catching up because I haven't seen these 2 dudes in like 4 fucking years, and here I'm at some random stripper's house after a date. 30 fucking people show up at the door just when you don't want them to. But there's like 3 dudes in the crowd that I knew from when I used to be a DJ. I'm like, I guess, I guess I can hang out with these guys for a minute. See, fuck. Great. Thanks. And, they did apologize for the cock block and everything. But, what was done was done. It's over. I had to leave at like 7 in the fucking morning because I don't even think it was a Friday night. I had to go to fucking work the next day because I had a real job and shit. So, all right, whatever. But anyway, like, I don't remember much. Anyway, like, so I leave. I'm like, I gotta go home. I'm not staying the night. I'm not staying here. So I leave, and she chases me out to my car. She's all apologizing and like, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, that's just, that's how you roll. That's what you're like. That's what it's like when you do what you do. And I wasn't mad or anything. I just had to go home. I didn't want to I can't party until fucking 11 o'clock in the morning because I don't work the night shift. And so I gotta go sleep for an hour. I'm gonna be miserable at my job, so I'm out. See ya. So we ended up we went out one more time, and it was supposed to be just the two of us once again, right? And we're at some bar, we're at some place that like nobody goes. And within like an hour, all of her bitches show up, and this whole fucking stripper entourage shows up, and all this shit, and everything got weird. And then all of a sudden, the plans revolve around the stripper pole dancing club, and they all want to go to so and so's house to do who knows what, and they're like, let's go there. And so I drive a handful of them up, and then when we get to the place, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going home. See ya. I'm like, I dropped them all off wherever the fuck they were going, and I just went. Because I wasn't even that far from. I was like 10 minutes from my house or less, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm going home. I ain't got time for this shit. I'm going home. And that was the last time I saw that girl. Because I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. Some people out there, the simps, the people that throw all the money at the whores, they think, wow, how awesome would it be to have a girl like that? No. The answer is no. No, it wouldn't. And I know that's a little bit of an extreme example. But the whole point is that when you're trying to manifest something, when you have this like fantasy going on or whatever, the reality of having it is going to be vastly different than the fantasy about it when you're trying to materialize the thing that it is and you're praying about getting the thing in your life that you want so bad. And you're probably going to find out after you get the thing that it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, right? I had this, somebody asked me who would be your perfect girl. And this was kind of a joke, but it was kind of serious. And I said, you know what? I think the perfect girl for me would probably be like a piece of trailer trash, like Juliette Lewis in Cape Fear. Just just a hot chick that's probably batshit crazy, lives in a trailer park. Because I'd been dating too many boss bitches who were like acting like they were smart. Alpha chicks that wanted to try and compete to be the alpha in the relationship, the boss bitch, the corporate asshole girl, like the power bitch, whatever. And so I was telling somebody, I'm like, I just want some batshit crazy trailer park girl who's just fun and kind of dumb. Like Juliette Lewis in Cape Fear would be perfect. And so I said that out loud to a group of people. And I'm not kidding you, like a month later, fucked up. A month later, out of nowhere, I meet a trailer park girl who looked identical, like fucking exactly like Juliette Lewis in Cape Fear. Like I was like, and just the things that this girl would say. It was like when I say that I can materialize things in my life, good and bad. Like I'm fucking not kidding. Like I don't know how I did it, because it wasn't like I prayed to God at night, please give me a trailer trash chick that looks like Juliette Lewis from Cape Fear. That's my perfect dream girl. Please God, please God, please God. I wasn't like that. But I said this shit out loud to some people. Like, that would be my perfect girl. And it was like a joke, right? It wasn't like I wasn't really like totally serious about this. But then she came. She materialized. I'm not kidding. She looked. You put a picture of her next to Juliette Lewis from Cape Fear side by side. You wouldn't even be able to tell them apart. And she was like a straight up country girl, hillbilly, like kind of dumb, like everything that you like, all the things, all the things. And you know what they say? Crazy in the head means crazy in bed, and that's true. That's true. But the bad side of it is crazy in the head is going to drive you fucking crazy in the head. And that's not good. You don't want that. So it's, once again, you got to ask yourself how the thing that you want so bad that like, that she would be perfect for me. Oh, really? God was like, oh, really? Would she be? Here, why don't I let you see what that would be like? Here, deal with that for a couple of months and see what you feel at. See if that's your dream girl at the end of those 2 months. No, not at all. No. I definitely got over my Cape Fear Juliette Lewis trailer park girl fantasy real quick. Once she actually came into my life exactly as I pictured it, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I'm just saying. It didn't work out. Imagine that. I never got to the part where like she was throwing dishes at me and breaking them against the wall and shit like that. I never got that crazy, but I could see where things were going, and I was the one that put a stop to it. I was like, gonna have to I didn't block the number, but I had to like not respond when the text messages came. And you got to ask yourself, like, how would the thing that you desire actually show up if you got the thing that you wanted? Not fantasize about all the wonderful things and blah, because it's not real. It's not real. You know, same. Let's just circle back around to the car, right? Oh, with a car, if I only had a car, I could go get groceries. I could drive to work instead of riding a bicycle 5,000 miles a year. I could go camping. I could carry things around. I could go shopping. I could go to the store and buy things that I could bring home in the car that I wouldn't be able to carry on a bicycle. And I can do, I could even go out and have fun once in a while. And I could go on dates maybe. But what's the reality of it? Bunch of fucking repair bills, hassles, problems, having to go to the car wash, filling it up with gas all the time. Thanks, Donald Trump, for making gas so fucking expensive. We can't even afford rubbing alcohol anymore, thanks to that fucking scumbag. What, rubbing alcohol's $10 a fucking bottle? That used to be 50 cents. That was the last time I bought rubbing alcohol. It was like 50 fucking cents, not $10. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Shit. Can't afford to pay my rent on time because of this fucking car. Wondering, every time I turn the key on this car, I'm like, hold my breath because I don't know if it's going to start. Oil changes, all the mundane shit, the car insurance and paperwork and government bullshit and registration and the inspection and this, that, and the other thing, just nonstop bullshit. Yes, I can go get my groceries. I can drive to work. I don't have to ride a bicycle 5,000 miles a year. I can do all those things. But there's a whole bunch of shit that goes with having a car that just gives me a fucking headache. And that's the point. Like, when you get the thing that you want, sometimes you'll wish you didn't have it. And now I don't wish that I didn't have a car. But like, think about when you buy a car. Think about that transition period, right? When you buy a new car, whether it's a used car that's new to you or it's a brand spanking new car, you baby that thing. You meticulously detail that thing. If somebody brings dirty shoes, if somebody's wearing wet shoes, you get mad. if they have their wet feet in your car, if they eat any food while you're driving, if they eat a candy bar in your car. Oh my God, you're eating a candy bar in my brand new car. All that kind of stuff, right? You baby that car. A bird takes a poop on your car and you're at the car wash. You're getting your car detailed. Oh my God, there's bird poop on my car. It's my brand new paint. Blah, blah, blah. But then like a year later, do you care? Now you don't give a fuck. Like a year later, you're like, fuck it. I don't care. It's just a shitmobile that gets me around town. Fuck it, man. Instead of, you got your first paint scratch, your first dent. You're just like, fuck it at this point. You're like, now when you're driving around, there's like 10 fucking McDonald's bags in the back seat. Footwell, if somebody has to sit in the back seat, you gotta be like, hold on, let me take all these fucking McDonald's bags and the empty cups and throw them in the fucking trunk or something. You got a bunch of shit on the front seat. Somebody's gonna ride shotgun. You gotta clear off the seat, throw all the shit in the back, kick the garbage out of the way. Fuck it. Haven't been to a car wash in 6 months. Why? Because who fucking cares? It'll rain next week and that'll wash some of it off. You just don't give a fuck anymore. You don't care. If you're all covered in mud after a hike, you just fuck it. You sit in the car. You don't try to put a towel down and, make it all perfect and whatnot. My ex had a brand new car that she was still in brand new car mode with. When I came home from prison, I wore a pair of jeans one day to go to the grocery store, and some shit on my jeans, like there was like a print or something on my jeans, like some material, decorative shit, I guess, like leather stitching or something. It flaked off my jeans and it was on the seat. She threw this gigantic fucking temper tantrum that I ruined the fucking seats of her car because some shit came off my jeans. And then she's like, don't you ever wear those fucking jeans in my car ever again, you motherfucker, and blah, blah, blah. That's how you are when it's a brand new car. If that car is like 2 years old and it's had its first major mechanical problem, it's got paint scratches, you sideswiped somebody and the insurance wouldn't fucking pay to fix it. Whatever. Like, after a while, that fucking car sucks and you're just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And so think about the fantasy versus the reality. Sometimes you get that brand spanking new car and the fantasy is still there. But then a year later, the reality of having that, now it's just a shitmobile that gets me around town. It's not my brand spanking new car anymore. Now reality is set in and now you're in the mundane day to day. And I guess I'm just digging into this topic because why not? We're here. There's like some people watching, some other people might watch. I might talk about this again. I might do like just a regular video about this and try to make it cool and shorter. So when it comes to like manifesting and like forcing yourself to believe something, right? You can't force yourself to believe it. You can't try to believe something if you don't believe it. You know what I mean? And it's like Jedi Master Yoda said, right? No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. Right? So when you're trying to like believe, when you're trying to like bring something into your reality that, you've prayed about, but you're trying to believe it, right? Because the Bible says, pray as if you've already received it, which you might think, believe that you already have it. Don't try to believe it, believe it. And so it's like these things that I'm talking about, like trying to believe it's not going to work because trying, you fail because you tried. You either do or you do not. There is no try. And so how do you go from, like, how do you get yourself to believe things that your brain won't let you believe because your brain is conditioned to only believe what it can see and experience and actually know is true? And it's almost like, the more you try to do something, the less you'll be likely able to do it. You remember those magic eye posters at the mall back in the day? These freaking things. I don't even know what this one is. We're going to look at it together. Where is it? Come on, for real? Just pop one up, for crying out loud. Open in a new tab. Just open the image. Just show. Come on, bitch. There you go. Here we go. These things. These eye posters, these goofy ass posters. I'm trying to figure out what this one is right now. Almost there. It is. This one kind of sucks, honestly. It's you lost the game. All right, this one's lame. It says you lost the game. But how did I do that shit so fast, right? You ever watch the movie Mallrats? Where the whole joke going through the whole movie of Mallrats is like everybody kept saying, it's a sailboat. You can't see it. It's a sailboat. And that was like the funniest thing because that shit was everywhere. And these things were so popular. If you're Gen X, you know, people had these things hanging on the walls of their fancy homes in glass frames and shit. Like they were taking these things seriously. And I could never see the fucking sailboat. I'm like, where the fuck's the fucking sailboat? Fuck you, man. And the more you try to do it, the more you can't. And the only way I was able to do it, I really wasn't a big weed smoker back then. It was kind of like a new thing. So this girl was like, here, man, here, I'm going to show you how to see it. She's like, here, take a hit off this joint, right? We're about to go to a 9 Inch Nails concert in downtown Pittsburgh, but we're in this apartment pre-gaming for the show. And she's like, okay, look in the reflection, kind of like focus on the back, because it was in a glass frame. It was a fancy one. She's like, look at the reflection and kind of like look at the back wall of the room. Don't look at the picture. Look through the picture. And I don't know, between the weed and the thing that she was telling me to do, it finally clicked. I'm like, holy shit, that's a dolphin. Wow, holy shit, that's a dolphin. I've been trying to see these goddamn things for 4 fucking years. I'm telling you, I was the guy with the sailboat in the movie Mallrats. I couldn't see it. And these things have been out since I was the whole time I'm in high school, all the way into art school. I'm like, I can't fucking see the goddamn sailboat. What the fuck are you talking about? There's nothing in it. It's just a bunch of fucking bullshit. I don't fucking see it. The first time I could see the dolphin, I'll never forget. Boom, I can see these things instantly now. I can look at one of these magic eye things, and within like 2 seconds, I can see what it is. My eyes just know what to do. And it's like that with these magic eye pictures. And it's kind of like the same, okay, like riding a bicycle. When you're a little kid and you don't know how to ride a bicycle, you can't. The more you try to learn how to ride a bicycle, the more you can't. And somebody just has to kind of give you a trick or something that helps you along, that just kind of forces it to click. But it never makes any sense. When you actually try to do it, you can't. And I've taught a lot of people how to ride a bike. I've taught my kids how to ride bicycles. I've used a different technique on both kids. I used a different technique for me. Somebody told me, go to the top of a hill and spread your legs out wide and just coast down the hill. Very first time I did that, boom, I was riding a bicycle. And once you learn how to ride, it's instantaneous. I've seen it happen with multiple kids. They try and try and try and try, and they never figure out how to ride the fucking bicycle, and then boom, they know how to ride a bicycle. It's like, and it doesn't happen because they tried. It's just something clicks. Boom, it clicks. You just learn some trick. Somebody taught you a trick. Try this, try that. Okay, you're trying, but all the trying in the world don't do shit until something in your brain snaps into place, and all of a sudden you just know it. And once you know it, you always know it, and you never forget it, and you'll always be able to do it. Driving a stick shift, same thing. How many of you who learned how to, has you ever seen anybody drive a stick shift the first time and get it right the first time? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what I try to explain that. I've taught so many people how to drive a stick shift. And I get very detailed. I explain it. I'm like, yes, the clutch pedal goes all the way to the floor and it comes all the way out. But there's actually like this 1 millimeter spot. You have to find that special spot. And all the magic happens within like a 2 millimeter. All the travel of the pedal to the floor and all the way out that's that 1 little millimeter of clutch pedal that matters. You got to find that spot, and you got to figure out how to play the game between the gas pedal and the clutch. And no matter how much you explain that shit to people, when you put the clutch pedal to the floor, the car is in neutral. The car will roll. You can't be, if you're on a hill facing up, you're going to roll backwards. Your car is basically disengaged as if you shifted it into neutral. Nobody understands it. Nobody knows how to get in the fucking car. People, every single time I've taught somebody how to drive a stick, it's fucking hilarious because it's like watching me try to learn how to drive a stick shift. For me, the way that I learned, what made it click was my stepdad had this really beat ass old fallen apart Chevy, this fucking piece of shit Chevy car of some kind, and the clutch was so soft and worn out that it slipped. It had a lot of slipping going on. It was slipping like a fucking mat on a old school turntable. And so you had a lot of forgiveness. And it was that slippery clutch that I was able to get. I was like, oh, okay. And once I could drive his car and maneuver, and I got really good at driving his car like fast. Like all of a sudden I just knew what to do, and it all made sense. But it didn't. Up until that point, none of this shit made any sense, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was getting mad. My mom was throwing a fucking temper tantrum. I can't fucking teach him. He's a fucking blah, blah, blah. My mom got really fucking mad trying to teach me how to drive a stick shift. My stepdad had a lot more patience with it, but it was putting me in his old beat up piece of shit car with the slippery clutch that got the connections in my brain wired so that now I get in the other vehicles. My mom had a brand new Geostorm stick shift with a real tight clutch because it was brand new car. I got in there. I was like, I shuddered it a couple of times, but I took my driver's test in that car, and I could drive it. I drove that car like a champ. I did push it a little too hard on a dirt road, and fucked it up a little bit. But kids will be kids. But I learned how to drive a stick shift, and I got really good at it fast. But it's that synapse. There's these synapses in your brain that you really can't teach somebody how to do it. The only thing that you can do is just try to give them something that makes that connection in their brain take place. So that you go from not knowing to knowing in the snap of a finger. So whether it's the magic eye poster, riding a bicycle, driving a stick shift, I couldn't see the sailboat, I couldn't ride a bicycle, I couldn't drive a stick shift, and all of those things pissed me off. Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. And that's you either see the sailboat or you fucking don't. You drive the stick shift or you don't. The car stalls. You ride a bicycle or you fall. You don't, like, you can't try it. You either do it or you don't. And sometimes the trying is why you fail. The harder you try to force a mental state, the more you prevent that state. The harder you, how many of you have experienced the harder you try to remember something, the more you can't remember it? I was trying to think of something earlier today. I don't know if I actually remembered it or not, like a name or something, but you're trying to remember the name of some movie, some actor, whatever. The harder you try to remember, the more you can't. Then you walk away from it and you're like doing something completely different. You're washing the dishes, whatever. The person that you're talking to isn't even around, and boom, oh, it was Leonardo DiCaprio in the Departed, or whatever. So, it's something like that. It just pops into your head when you're not even looking for it and you're not trying anymore. I had that experience the other day. I went to the grocery store. I needed 3 things. I needed coffee creamer, which is funny. I needed yogurt, and I needed one other thing. Oh, and I needed some bread. So I needed 4 things, and there was this one I couldn't remember. And I couldn't remember, and I couldn't remember. And I'm like, come on, Adam. You know you're going to get home, and you're going to remember. Come on, what is it? What is it? I finally gave up because I couldn't remember. I get home, I open up the fridge. Fuck! I forgot the coffee. And it was the most important thing out of the 4. Because I didn't have any cold brew coffee made for the next morning. And I get home from the grocery store. I had 4 things: bread, coffee creamer, which is right next to the fucking coffee. I had bread, coffee creamer, whatever the other thing was, and coffee. But I forgot the coffee was the one I couldn't remember. And I tried to force the memory and I couldn't. And I'm right next to the damn coffee, the cold brew coffee section. And I just wanted to get a bottle to take home so I wouldn't have to brew any. And I'm telling you, the second I got home, I opened up the fridge. Boom! Memory right there. So it all worked out. I ended up brewing a batch just for one night, just one bottle, so I'd have some for the next day. I had enough time. It all worked out, but I didn't want to have to do that. I was too tired, but I did it anyway. And so it's kind of like this manifestation stuff that they talk about. Whether you believe in Jesus or you don't, when you're manifesting, you don't actually have to believe that you don't have to believe that you have the thing. In fact, if you try to believe that you do when your brain knows that you don't, your mind is just going to hang on to the feeling of you don't. And because you can't prove you know that you don't have the thing. If you want a car, you can't believe that you have a car because you go out in the fucking driveway. The driveway is empty. There's no fucking car there. How are you supposed to believe that you have a car when you don't? So the more you try to believe, the less you will. And like your mind will hang on to that feeling of the lack of the car. And it's going to fight back with you to reaffirm. And then you're just going to not be able to you're not going to be able to manifest it because you believe that you won't have it. And so once again, what does it mean when the Bible says pray as if you've already received it? I don't think it actually says believe that you've already received it. I think it actually says pray as if you've already received it. Like, you can believe it, but if you let go of the need to actually believe that you have it, like, you know what I mean? That will let go of some of that resistance. And I think that, like, this materialization thing that we can all do this stuff. I think it's like learning how to ride a bike. You got to, like, figure out a trick, like the magic eye, so you can see the fucking sailboat in the 3D picture. It took me, I'm telling you, I could not see the goddamn sailboat for 4 years until someone just did something that made it click. And now I can pull one of those up in front of me and be like, oh, there it is. It's a dolphin. It's a football helmet. It's a, oh, wow, it's a big giant Star Spangled Banner or whatever. Oh, it's fireworks or whatever it is. I can see it fast. But if for 4 fucking years I could not see one, it looks like a bunch of random shit it looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know who the hell is seeing the sailboat? I was so mad about that shit. And then once I saw it, I was like, wow, now I get it. Y'all weren't joking. There really is a sailboat. Holy shit. And so I think that's kind of like what, praying is praying as if you've already received it. It's really hard to do the first time until you develop the muscle memory, the synapses in your brain that will allow you to manifest the things that you're praying about into reality. And you have to kind of exercise those muscles and just work on figuring out the trick that the trick that made you find out how to ride a bicycle, the trick that made you see the dolphin for the first time in the stereogram weird ass picture thing, the trick that made you go, oh, that's how you drive a stick shift, and all of a sudden you just know, and you wonder, how the fuck was this so hard? How did it take me, how did I go driving 10 times, stalling the car every time I tried to go somewhere without, like, how did I not figure this out so quick? And whatever the trick is that got it to click, that's kind of like, I think we're all kind of there with this making things into reality. And we're surrounded by a bunch of satanic pedophile dirtbags, these billionaire child molesters that are in charge of everything. They're trying to make that really hard for you to do, because we could get rid of these people like that. There's millions of us, and there's like hundreds of them. They could be gone tomorrow. They could be gone. Just poof, we could get rid of them. We could put them in a dog cage in Cuba, let them eat out of a fucking dog bowl for the rest of their life. And with that, I got this little puppy here. He's chilling. He's creeping around he wants to hang out now. So we've been doing this live stream for like 4 hours. I started out a little bit tired, but if you're still here, that's cool. Check out the links.litgood.com. A couple of you dropped bones in the chicken bucket last week, so I'll give you know who you are. I don't know if I want to dox people or just shout out people's names, because I get your real name when you do that. Because it's it's tied to your credit card and whatnot, and so I see it. So I don't want to dox people or whatnot, especially cool people. I'll dox an asshole all day, but not if you're cool. But thank you for that. Even if it's $1, it goes to a good cause. Like a bottle of rubbing alcohol now is $10. So according to angels in our midst, thank you for pointing that out. Jeez. Guess I'll have to save up for it now. I mean, my God, I can't even believe that. If I had stocked up on rubbing alcohol a year ago, I could be selling it for $8 a bottle after paying 50 cents a bottle back when I bought it. I wish I could see into the future. I wouldn't have the problems I have today. But with that said, I'm gonna get out of here. This dog probably needs to go take a dump or something, and we're gonna have a little bit of food, chill. We're gonna watch a movie, hang out. He's chilling. He's totally cool now. He's not whining about it. I don't think he cares about his family anymore. I think he's like, yeah, I could hang out here. I think this would be a good place. So I'm gonna go take care of that dog. Thank you all for showing up, hanging out as we do. Probably next week, same time, same place. Once I figure out a few things. Oh, all right. Yep, he heard me. So I got to take care of this. But yeah, next time, same place, same time. He'll be gone. You won't hear him barking in the background anymore. So, but anyway, I hope y'all have a good week. And till I see you next week, peace out.